homecoming, but we had all kinds. I mean, to be the top 25 team, to get bowl eligible, homecoming, we had all kinds of reasons to go out there and play hard and play well, and we didn't.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir!
You heard Coach talking about plenty of reasons that Arkansas had to beat Liberty this past weekend. Well, I want to ask this morning at 877-377-6963, what reasons do you have that you'll think you'll win against LSU on Saturday? What are you confident in before the Tigers come to town at 11 a.m. the opening day of modern gun season? Can you win without a healthy KJ Jefferson? Because in my opinion, he's not going to be healthy the rest of the season. I just don't think he's going to get back to that point. We'll have to wait and see. That's just a guess on my part. But you think about the quarterback and how important he is to this offense, KJ is a huge, huge key. And that's where we'll start with here on a Toyota Tuesday.
What am I confident in? I'm confident there will be plenty of tickets available below face value. I'm confident there's going to be open seats. I'm confident that until they have a great showing in this LSU game, the Ole Miss game might be in peril, too, as far as nice crowd and home field edge. I don't say people have let go of the rope, but and maybe that the attitude changes. We've been known to do that as a fan base before. On Monday, we're never going to another game again, and by Friday, man, I hope I can find some tickets. Wish I hadn't given my tickets away. You know, all of those thoughts. But I think with the kind of the outside perfect storm on giving people reasons to not go, and we got to remember there's going to be like 500,000 Arkansans in the woods across our state, you know, hunting this upcoming weekend. That doesn't bode well for a large 11 a.m. crowd. Add on to that 11 a.m., add on to that cooler conditions, add on to that, you know, many other things, you know, holidays coming up, blah, blah, blah. You ask me what I'm confident in here, Ty. I think I'm confident you're going to struggle to get to maybe 70,000.
What I think Saturday's loss did is for the guy or gal that was on the fence of going to the game for leaving the Deerwoods early or leaving then coming back, he or she just decided, you know what, I'm just going to stay in
just
the cabin
going
this
weekend.
weekend.
The non-hunter just going, period. You know, I'm not going hunting either way, but, you know, maybe it makes people like me just waffle. You know, I'm going to work, so I don't have plans to go hunting, but they're people, you know, maybe I'll just watch it on TV. You know, it's not easy to go to an 11 a.m. game unless you know, live right here in Fayetteville, right in Benton or Washington County. It's not easy.
Zach already texting us. He's from Mountain Bird, saying LSU's going to kill us. Well, Zach, I would say, my question to that would be, why do you think that? We've seen plenty of LSU-Arkansas games over the years where the Tigers seem far more formidable than the Razorbacks, and Arkansas gives them a game. Now, they don't always win, but a lot of times they do. And you got to remember, and I was thinking about this yesterday, they have to take the boot from you. You took it from them last year in Baton Rouge. I hope Coach Pittman is preaching to his guys this week. They have to go through you to get that golden trophy. Was it 130, 140 pounds?
It's heavy. Yeah.
It's heavy. They have to go through you this week. And honestly, they're going to come in here overconfident. They just saw you lost to Liberty. They don't think much of you. You're 5-4. They think they're on an easy track to an SEC West title. Really. I guarantee you that the coaches for LSU don't think that. But I think a lot of the players are like, they're going to walk into Fayetteville and think it's going to be a cakewalk. It's not going to be a cakewalk this weekend for LSU.
Well, they got Arkansas and A&M left, two teams that have not been formidable in the West this year. So, I mean, you could understand why their fans certainly would have some overconfidence, and that bleeds over to the team. That would be understandable at this point. They got UAB sandwiched in between those two SEC games. But your point is spot on that you look at the history of this series. There have been many times where it has not been. But we also go back and look at plenty of times in recent history where we've tried to hold that same card up. Oh, this series has been close. True, but there's been some blowouts as of late. So, LSU's had their way a few times in recent history. So you look at 2019, it was 56-20. I know those were different circumstances, but there's been 38-10s and 33-10s, and last year it went Arkansas's way in overtime. But let's not act like every one of these games have been down to the wire, because they haven't been.
But the last two under Pittman, you lost because you didn't have any defensive linemen in year one. You legitimately didn't have anyone that you could rush the quarterback with because of the COVID and the contract tracing or whatever. And last year you go to Baton Rouge and win. I honestly think they're going to put up a good fight. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you they're going to win on Saturday, but I think it's going to be something that, as Zach from Mountainburg again points out, the offensive line has to have a better mentality in this football game. You got embarrassed up front this past week by a team. I don't care if you think they're faster, they're quicker, they're smaller. You're the SEC offensive line. You're the group of five that's up for the Joe Moore Award. And I think personally, I think Ricky Stromberg, I think Dalton Wagner, I think Bo Limmer, I think Luke Jones, and I think Brady Latham are going to watch that film and puke, because that is the worst performance those guys have ever put together on a football field, ever. You could go back to their high school, junior high days, and they'd probably tell you, I have not played as bad as I did on Saturday. So hopefully that will motivate them against an LSU defensive front that has a freshman in Perkins that plays linebacker and a little rush in. That's outstanding. They got Ojulari, who's just an absolute man. This is not going to be an easy task, and I hope they're motivated. I don't know how else you motivate a football team than when you see what you have to face on Saturday.
Make them watch that film from the Liberty game, particularly the first half, and that doesn't make you want to redeem yourself, then you're in the wrong business. That's all I can say, because that should be personally motivating just by watching that performance, particularly that offensive line. You don't have to go to bed every night watching that game from last week, and that should be enough to get them focused and ready. I mean, everybody talk about getting fired up, and you always like say go ballistic, or you shouldn't need much this week. A, you're playing LSU, but B, if you've turned in probably the worst performance compared to expectations since Sam Pittman arrived last week. I don't think we'd argue much on that. Mm-hmm. So, shouldn't take a lot this week to get your best.
JT in Hot Springs texting in, there's no way Liberty's defensive line is better than A&M, Alabama, Auburn, or South Carolina. Just from the outside looking in, JT, I would probably agree with you without going over the film and looking at that. And again, this is not an easy task ahead. But as Tommy just put out, you don't even need to look at the past film for motivation. You have an arch rival coming into your building trying to take the trophy that you rightfully earned in their building last year. There is nothing extra that needs to be said about the importance of this football game that remains. You thought in 2007 you knocked LSU out of a national championship. You beat them on Saturday. They have no shot, and they still have an outside shot if they win, but they have no shot to win a national championship or get to the college football playoff. That should mean something to Arkansas that they had the opportunity to do that.
You bring up the boot. Do you think Brian Kelly even knows what the boot is? Number one, and do you think that's even part of their conversation?
No.
And that doesn't mean anything to them, I don't believe.
But it means a hell of a lot to us here in the state of Arkansas. And it's always going to mean more to us in the state of Arkansas. That's why this football team, I hope, plays with an edge that you didn't even see a sliver of on Saturday.
All right, had a basketball game last night. We'll talk about that coming up and who might have been or who was missing from that game. We're brought to you by The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fencing or gating project. If you've got a business that needs more security or maybe a home that wants a little more curb appeal when you drive by, The Fence Man can help you with both. In fact, they've been around for more than 40 years. They custom install any kind of fence, gate, or controlled access for your home or business. Call the Fence Man. Ask about 18-month, same as cash financing. 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Got a chance to watch these guys live in Bud Walton Arena. It's good to be back in the midst of basketball season. We'll tell you what we saw last night next on a Toyota Tuesday edition of the Morning Rush.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
Cooler weather is on the way.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Dent Source, the leader in auto hail repair for over 20 years. Our certified technicians service all vehicles and offer a lifetime warranty. Dent Source will keep you on the road with a courtesy vehicle and offer free pickup and delivery. Dent Source, now open in Fort Smith.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lamley has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard. Unlike those other companies, items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
Better and give parents a choice on where and how their children are educated. If you're unhappy with how North Fort Smith has been represented for the past decade, then I am the candidate for change. If you believe we can do this together, I ask for your vote on Election Day, November 8th. My name is Max Avery, and I'm running for state representative. Paid for by Avery for Arkansas.
Honey, I found a great new house for us to buy. Look at the photos.
Yeah? Who's gonna clean that big house?
We'll hire a housekeeper.
And who's gonna mow all that grass?
I will, on the weekends.
And who will get the kids to school?
We'll start a neighborhood carpool.
You thought of everything, didn't you?
Yep.
Except, who's gonna sell this house we're living in now?
Nick and Ellie Glidewell. nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
Jefferson gonna roll right, fired into the flat, Knox is there, complete, touchdown Arkansas.
Watch the Morning Rush on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. Just search Hit That Line.
Want to update you on what we know about Nick Smith Jr. coming up in just a bit. If you watched the game last night, you know he didn't participate. That's coming up on the Morning Rush.
Hey, before we go a lot further, I want to tell you about my friends at Burton Pools and Spas. Just a few years ago, I think 4 years ago, we put a pool in at the house, and we chose Burton's for a variety of reasons. But what made me comfortable is our neighbor, they no longer live there, but one of the reasons they sold their house is they had trouble with their pool. They hired a guy with a backhoe and a trailer, and then when they had problems and the retaining wall fell down in about 45 days, that was a problem, and couldn't necessarily find that person. Took a long time to get that fixed, and then just continual problems. I've noticed the new people that live there, they're having to jackhammer up some of the pool deck to fix leaks in the plumbing. That's the thing that I appreciate. That's the thing I know. Here's the reason I trust Burton Pools and Spas is they've been around for 44 years. So there's an issue with a retaining wall or an issue with plumbing and pipes. You're going to have someone there to help you fix the problem. Someone that knows how it went in and knows what to do to fix the issue. That was always one of my concerns. What if something happens? Who's going to be there to help me get it back to where it needs to be? That's why you can count on Burton's. They're in Springdale and in Fort Smith. They also sell great hot spring spas as well. That'll help you enjoy, especially this time of the year with the cooler temperatures. Great way to start and end your day. It's all at Burton Pools and Spas. Again, Springdale and in Fort Smith, online at burtonpools.com, where you can get your feet wet without getting in over your head.
So I'm opening the car door to get out and go to the gym, and I start getting a flurry of texts about Nick Smith Jr., and before those texts, I didn't know that he was dealing with an injury of any sort. And then we get the email from Arkansas basketball, and it says that he is out for the season opener. He's going through right knee management. He's going to be held with because of precautionary measures, and there's no timetable on that. And I'm just thinking, all right, we just lost the Liberty, and then this happens. The star player, the guy that you're expected to get drafted in the top 3 overall, isn't playing in the season opener. That's
a new term, right knee management. Have you ever heard
of load management?
Yes, but not right knee management. But this speaks of precaution, like you said. This speaks of, hey, we don't want to further and worsen the injury. Muss was pretty tight-lipped about it. They did give you enough detail to know what's going on, and obviously, I think they're going to be slow to bring him back. They're off till Friday. I would honestly be surprised if he played much against Fordham on Friday. So I think it may be a little bit, and I think this is all about making sure he's ready to go, whatever the issue is, whatever the severity of it is. Hey, let's make sure he's ready to go in Maui. And have a great season because, as you said, he's projected to be at least a top 5 pick, a lottery pick for sure. Let's make sure we don't get this season off to a bad start here with him health wise.
You think he's ready by Maui?
I don't know.
Why do I think this is not good? Is that just because I'm a little
we don't really have anything to base any kind of thought on. You may be right. He may start and play 33 minutes on Friday. I don't know. I would probably tend to think that when you see him back for limited minutes, then he's going to be. You only got 2 more games till they play at Maui, so you need to see him in one of these next 2 games beginning Friday.
One of the things I really appreciate about Nick Smith Jr. and I noticed this in high school is he is heavily invested even when he's on the bench. And he was at the end of the bench last night in street clothes, of course, because he's not dressed out because he wasn't going to play. But you could tell during the course of the game he wasn't just kind of lackadaisical or just sitting back or whatever. He tried to help out his team as much as possible. And this is, again, it's not many times that the freshman is the alpha dog. Nick is the alpha dog of this team. Now, he's going to get help by other guys, some other veteran transfers that they brought over. But I at least appreciate that because I was consistently in Bud Walton last night just kind of watching him, what he was doing. I was also watching Hunter Yurchek, Tommy, who was on the front row of the Gucci row, who is, again, animated as ever. And he has the basketball background, and not that he doesn't take baseball and football very seriously because we know that, but it's one of my favorite things is just to watch Hunter Yurchek during an Arkansas athletics event. Because it's very entertaining.
Sitting on Gucci row, huh? So, well, Nick Smith is going to be the one that I think drives this team. And you're right; it's unusual to see freshmen do that, but he's not the normal freshman either. So the question is, and I think we're already starting to see the answer with the older guys, some of the transfer players that we've led into this season talking about Nick Smith and Anthony Black and all the young players. But really, who won you the ball game last night? Who stepped up when you needed it? And that was the older, more mature, more experienced transfer players in Council in Brazil.
Yeah, and Ricky Council had himself a game last night.
Hogs get the rebound, back to the other end, Council to the rim, a reverse two-hand slam.
I mean, he was getting to the rim anytime he wanted. He was acrobatic, finishing all over the place. So you had him who was actually inserted to the starting lineup at shoot-around, is what Musk told us. So the starting lineup last night was Mekhi Mitchell, Devontae Davis, Ricky Council, Anthony Black, and Kamani Johnson. That's who ended up started last night. One of the things I noticed, it wasn't just Ricky, it was Trevin, but some of the guys that haven't necessarily been aggressive in the games that we've seen with Nick out, they went off last night. They made sure that they were going to get to the rim and there wasn't going to be a lack of scoring from that offense.
What'd you think of watching the defense in person?
Their hands are on a catch. And this unit, they put this graphic out earlier in the season. Their average height is longer than the average NBA team. I mean, you're running the starting lineup. Mitchell's like 6'10", 6'11". Devo's the shortest at 6'4". Ricky's like 6'6". Anthony's 6'7", 6'8", and then Kamani's 6'7", 6'8". That is a lot of length. Now, there's freshmen. They're still trying to figure out rhythms, rotations, ball screens, what they're supposed to do, backpedal, if they're supposed to hedge, whatever. But I was impressed because they shot, they shoot 33% last night?
34%, 33.9%. The three-point shooting, something we keep an eye on, 23.8% last night for North Dakota State. So in those regards, they got the job done. So, we'll continue to watch it. It's one game, but, last night did not fall apart because Nick Smith wasn't there, and I think that's one thing to note. Brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands, the best prices, a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell at Wheels. So you never have to worry. With deer season starting this weekend, if you've really been on the fence about what to do with that drafty, leaky old trailer you got, hey, why don't you trade in? Even the pre-owned selection right now at Wheels is great to choose from as well. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72, off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV.
When we come back, Sam Pittman updated us on KJ Jefferson's health yesterday, kind of went into it a little more. I want to share what he had to say, and what do the college football playoff rankings look like as of tonight?
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
What does
does everybody want this year? Their very own hot tub. Hot Spring Spas makes every day better. Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith have the very best deals on hot spring spas. Supplies are very limited, so let Burton Pools and Spas know that you want one and claim your hot tub. They are already ordered and waiting for you to pick yours out. Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith and online at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas, your source for backyard fun. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
So long, paperwork. See ya, hassles. Goodbye, not knowing. When you're ready for a modern mortgage experience, say hello to the Arvest Home for Me app. With Home for Me, you can get pre-qualified, upload paperwork, and track your loan's progress, all from your phone, and all with the support of a dedicated lender. Home for Me simplifies the mortgage process, and it's only from Arvest Bank. Goodbye, limits. Hello, possibilities. Arvest Bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Who's hungry, Fort Smith? Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. And this month, I'm serving up heaping helpings of deals on Rath road-ready vehicles, each one hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center. So right now, you could save up to $4,500 on a nicer, newer car, based on the price of the car you choose. It's our feast of savings, and these deals are all gravy, so if you're sick of your old ride, toss it like yesterday's leftovers. Come in today, and you could save up to $4,500. Keeping the car you have? Get it ready for winter in our Meineke Car Care Center with a free winter-ready inspection, half-off brakes, and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. So pull up a chair at my feast of savings, and you could save up to $4,500 on a nicer, newer car. But hurry, a deal this hot will cool down fast. Only in Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Bite this network with an urgent weekend morning update. You can go back to sleep. That's right, relax. Because Hardee's now serves their new Super Biscuit sandwiches every day and until noon on weekends. So you can rise and dine with a whole lot of meat on a made-from-scratch biscuit. More on this whenever you wake up and get back from Hardee's. Bite into the new Super Sausage and Super Bacon Biscuits only at Hardee's. For a limited time at participating Hardee's. Exclusions may apply by time of day.
The Golf Nut has been Fort Smith's #1 golf shop since 1994. Beat the heat, book a time in their hitting base with the TrackMan technology, or play around on one of the many courses like Bethpage Black or Pebble Beach. Needing help with your game? Call Matt Brooks today and schedule a lesson using the simulator. For the best selection of clubs, shoes, and apparel, stop by the Golf Nut today. 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith, your #1 stop shop for everything golf.
The Arkansas Fraternal Order of Police stood tall and unified this week to urge voters to vote no on Issue 4. They're calling the campaign misleading to voters, and they warn of the harm it will bring to our children, along with even more unintended consequences we cannot afford. Stand with the police and vote against Marijuana Issue 4, paid for by the Family Council Action Committee.
What's the room again?
1080, down at the end.
Ooh, what's that? Hey, don't touch that. It's gross.
Here we are. Got the key?
You have them.
Oh, great. It's not working.
Try flipping it over.
Oh my gosh. Seriously?
Okay.
Why can't we go inside?
Bring it over.
I'm tired. Oh my gosh.
Give me yours.
Really? You have mine.
Oh, yeah, right.
Really?
I'm tired. Oh my
Just
gosh.
Can everyone just shut the...
Don't go there. Go on a real vacation. Breeden RV. Highway 64 between Alma and Van Buren.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
KJ looking to throw. Plenty of time. Now he's running out of time. Throws it into the end zone. Complete. Touchdown, Arkansas. Trey Knox.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from Tuning.
Everyone wants to know the deal with KJ Jefferson and what that's going to look like for him, not just on Saturday, but the rest of the season. Coach Pittman talked about it a little bit. We'll share with what he had to say coming up in just a bit.
6:30 on the Morning Rush. I know it's early and it's breakfast time. You might not even had breakfast yet, but it's never too early to think about lunch.
Never.
Here in Fayetteville, the place to go is CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. And if you're listening east, Russellville's there for you as well. Go in today and get you that grilled chicken sandwich here in Fayetteville. You can get you that. Now, you like the number 2 with 2 patties, double cheese. You put with bacon on it. What all you put on yours when you go to CJ's?
Grilled mushrooms, grilled onions, bacon, and the fried sauce, and a milkshake.
They got great fries as well. So, I mean, I wish I could eat like that. But the grilled chicken is probably a little more in my wheelhouse right now. But that number 2. And you know, listen, if you're going like low carb or you're on a diet, they can make a salad for you there. I've done that a few times. It's not probably the preference, but they have that option on the menu. They can take that hamburger patty or that grilled chicken breast and put it on a salad. Then all the toppings, like you said, you can customize that as well. So I know it's early, and we're thinking about breakfast maybe right now, but it's never too early to make some lunch plans for today or dinner plans for tonight. Or maybe if you're not listening here in Northwest Arkansas, you're coming from a different place. Make plans for Friday night's game or Saturday and get to CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers.
I was talking with Keith a little bit last week. He's happy that Arkansas is playing home games again because, again, you can also get them at the stadium as well. CJ's has 3 locations within Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium, and he's also pumped that basketball season has returned. CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best, and they are at CJ's. Tell them Ty and Tommy sent you. All right. Here's what Coach had to say about KJ Jefferson's injury.
Really in the clavicle area, there's nothing, it's bruised. It's hard for him to throw the ball without some type of pain, and he's much better than what he was last week. So hopefully we'll get a good week of practice out of him and go from there.
He got hit a little bit last week. There was one run he had where I felt like one defensive back hit his right shoulder and the other defensive back hit his left shoulder. So that's an area that is pretty exposed for the most part as a quarterback, and as KJ is a running quarterback, he's going to get some hits. So, I mean, are you going to see him slide more in the next 3 weeks, or is he just going to be...
How much sliding you ever seen him do ever? Exactly.
I was going to say, Tommy, I can't think of a single time outside. There was a game in
man, when that train gets to moving, there ain't no sliding with that train.
But is that change?
He's a locomotion going.
It's kind of like Jalen Catalon. You were asking if he needed to change his style of play. Is KJ for the betterment of himself?
No, listen, if you'll remember, go back before the season. I don't remember the exact way Pittman put it, so I'll paraphrase a bit. But he talked about KJ when running. Should he go out of bounds more? Should he play more tentative to avoid injury? And he basically said at that point, you can't reprogram KJ. He's going to do what he does. But, yes, I'd like to see him get down and get out of the way a little bit more. I mean, he didn't talk out both sides of his mouth. He understood it, but he understood there was no changing KJ either. I don't think you're going to get a guy that's 240-some-odd pounds to start sliding. I don't even know what that looked like. That might look like a real mess, him trying to slide. So, you think about the clavicle and up around that shoulder. You got your shoulder pads for protection. You see quarterbacks wear the rib protection down low. I mean, they got a pretty good set of extra padding there, but there's only so much you can do. I thought what was interesting from the comments yesterday was he already basically described or did describe KJ as already more improved with his health. Maybe that's a reference to last Monday versus this Monday, but that's what caught me because he certainly didn't look like himself on Saturday.
So if he's not himself the rest of the way, and he looks like he did on Saturday, and that's possible. And listen, Chuck said it best yesterday. A lot of KJ's games, they hadn't played good. It's the offensive line hasn't necessarily helped him out either. If he is not what we've expected and come to know from KJ Jefferson the rest of the way, are we going to see them at some point feature Malik? That's one of our questions that we have
say
this morning.
feature. When I hear the word feature, I mean you're not saying start. You're not saying take over the offense. You're saying packages. Is that what you're saying?
Even not packages, or is he just going to play? Is KJ going to at some point just be yanked and pulled, and we're going to see Malik Hornsby again?
I'll go back to what we discussed yesterday. Is a 70 or 80% or whatever he is. I don't think he's 50%. I think he's better than that based on just what we saw Saturday. Is KJ not at 100% better than anyone else at 100%? I mean, here's the thing that we do know coming out of Saturday. Who took basically all the snaps in practice last week?
According to Jaden Hazelwood, it was Malik Hornsby.
So the coaches had all week long to watch what Malik could do, watched every snap, watched the film of those snaps, and still made what decision?
To go with KJ Jefferson.
So what does that tell you? What does that tell you? They watched him all week long and still didn't have a comfort level to put him in. What does that tell? No. What does that tell you about Malik? They don't trust him.
But if we're playing devil's advocate, because what you just said is 100% valid.
They watched him all week long and didn't want to play him.
He's never going to be a good practice player when he steps on. As long as he is on campus,
that's where you win the jobs, man. You got to earn your way onto the field. You earn your way on the field by practice performance.
We work with a guy that wasn't described as a great practice player, but when it was game time, Matt was a.
I bet all of his practices weren't subpar either. I bet when he needed to turn it on and but listen, he wasn't the backup either. No, there was talk he should be this, he should be that, but Houston Nutt believed in him. When you're trying to earn the job, you can't be a gamer. When you're trying to get on the field, you got to go put it on in practice to earn your coach's confidence. All I'm saying is the facts we know, based on Hazelwood's comment, is Hornsby took the snaps in practice. Kendall Briles got to evaluate that, and the only conclusion I can draw is based on what he saw, we'll go with a guy that's not 100%.
Randall messaging in on YouTube saying if KJ had kept the ball in the wide open lanes against Liberty, that they would have done a lot better. That KJ is not better at 70% than 100% Malik Hornsby. So you said it. We don't know the percentage of health that KJ is at right now, but you're still of the belief that 70, 80% KJ is still superior than Malik Hornsby?
Again, Malik Hornsby, from all accounts, got every snap in practice and didn't perform at a level that the coaches said this is the path to victory. Or when things weren't right, I could say, hey, Kate, Malik had a good week of practice. If you're, crawl inside Kendall Briles' head. Let's just presume he would have the thought that, Hornsby had a great week. If something goes wrong, we can put him in. That still wasn't the case. Because anyone, and certainly Kendall Briles' eyes are much more trained and much more intelligent about the situation than any of ours. Even what he was seeing with KJ Jefferson, knowing things were not at 100%, still did not want to pull the trigger on Hornsby. So that tells me that the week of practice did not live up to anywhere close to expectations.
What would cause him to change his mind and go against what he's seen in practice for KJ to be taken out of the football game? Because if KJ plays like he did against Liberty, and again, this is not all on KJ, and I'm not trying to pick on him because he's gutting it out. We know he's not fully healthy right now. I just want to be abundantly clear about that. But if he plays like he did against the Flames, Arkansas is going to get obliterated on Saturday. So that being said, what would the linchpin be to pull KJ out, and what would be the breaking point?
Further injury. Further injury where he physically couldn't go. Because with the way the offensive line played on Saturday, did it really matter what would Hornsby have been able to do differently? Maybe get the ball out a little quicker, but we know he's not a great passer. His game is to run it. He's a faster runner. I don't know that he's a better runner. I wouldn't say that necessarily. In fact, I would say he's not. He just got a little more speed. I think there's things Hornsby can do. We saw that in Starkville. I think he is capable but it's clearly there hasn't been a carryover from the Mississippi State game to now to where they trust to put him in to run the offense. And I question, just based on trying to put the tea leaves together here, does the team believe in him enough? Because clearly KJ's the leader on the team, so you also got to come back to they believe in it. And again, I'm going to take a bridge too far here. I'm going to take a big leap and a big assumption. Was the fact that Malik took the snaps all week long in practice, and maybe the known starter was uncertain even going into Saturday morning, part of the reason the offense looked subpar, and I'm being nice with that term, subpar? Is that part of it, that the line was like, my God, we don't have KJ coming into this game. What are we going to, that was part of the reason everything seemed off? Because they went in, I mean, when you go in with no belief, no confidence, everyone's performance suffers. Did that line wake up? And I'm not hammering Malik here, but when your leader is gone, when the alpha of the team is not there, everyone else's performance often suffers. Did they wake up, they being the entire offense and the offensive line, wake up Saturday morning believing Malik Hornsby was possibly going to be their leader on the field that day, and their body language didn't look up to par? Now, why couldn't you flip the switch? I'm going a bridge too far in making a huge assumption in that statement. But something was clearly off. Something was clearly not right with the way they played. The body language looked bad. They looked 2 steps too slow. A lot of things was wrong. I don't know, but, I mean, clearly I go back to where we started. Everybody watched Malik all week long from everything we know, and still the decision was made not to put him in.
Drew in Fayetteville texted and says he doesn't believe what they see in practice anymore. After seeing Quincy McAdoo on Saturday, he doesn't have much trust with the staff, with player evaluation.
Hang on a minute. Quincy McAdoo, you're basing it on that? You don't think there's been development and bringing him along throughout the way? You think he's been the same player he was Saturday all along since August? Come on.
That's highly doubtful.
Come on. Let's give somebody some credit along the way, for developing him to be ready to play like he did.
Gerald says it didn't matter who played quarterback this past Saturday. The offensive line was trash. Now, right. I will say, if you watch that first half, there were times where KJ's, it looked like the read was to pull it. He didn't. Again, he's playing hampered. He's playing hurt. And as a guy that's doing that, sometimes you opt to hand the ball off more than that. I would think that Malik might pull it a little more. I don't know. Again, we didn't see it. We didn't see it change. And I don't know what that would look like. Now, John says he thinks Malik is checked out and he is gone at this season's end. He doesn't think practice means anything to him at this point in time. If you're Malik, let's look at Malik's vantage point for a sec. If you practice all week and KJ's not fully healthy and you still didn't play this past Saturday, not even one play, what's going through your head this past week? Are you trying to prove even more that you deserve to play? Are you just ticked off? Are you letting go of the rope? I don't know him personally. Haven't even had a conversation with him, to be honest. So I don't know kind of what's going through his head, but I am curious what is.
Man, it's frustrating when you feel like you're in a situation and I've done all I can do, and I know everybody's will give 100% and everything will work out. Well, sometimes it doesn't. And I don't know whether, was he given 110% in practice? What are the reasons he can't seem to earn the trust of Kendall Briles and his coaching staff? I don't know. But my attitude would be frustration when in my mind, I've done all I can do and it's still not enough. Isn't that frustrating in life when, no matter the situation, you feel like you've done everything you can to earn a job, earn a client, earn a promotion, earn whatever, and it still doesn't happen because somebody else gets that opportunity. I can't imagine it be any less frustrating than what we feel in real day life than what it's probably more frustrating for him.
So are Arkansas fans going to be understanding if he transfers after this year, if that's the optics that have happened this season where they feel like that he's given his all to try and win that job, if even in a backup role where he could have been inserted, and he still was not able to play based on coach's decision, do you think there'll be more understanding of why he would leave the program based on what you just said?
First of all, I expect KJ to be back another year, so if your goal is to play and play right away, I don't know that there's an opportunity next year other than the situations we're trying to unpack here with injury and not being 100%. I mean, you're not expecting KJ to enter his name into the draft. So, I mean, I'm not either. So I think that's pretty obvious that if him leaving, I think is probably more likely than less likely just based on the availability of playing time. But let's just advance another year. And everybody's got another year of eligibility burned up. You still think he's the leader of this team and leader of this program at quarterback?
Talking about Malik or KJ?
Malik.
I don't know what this Malachi Singleton is going to be as a quarterback, as the kid out of Georgia, the one quarterback that you have in this upcoming class. I'm assuming Bryles will pluck someone out of the portal at some point. I don't know if that's this offseason or if it's another offseason. I think that's a long way away from determining my 100% feeling on that.
There is clearly a faction of this fan base that is enamored and in love with Malik Hornsby. And I always just want to ask the question, why? What have you seen?
What's the backup quarterback syndrome? They do this every
I know,
year.
and I understand he's got speed and he's shown a play or two there, but I just don't understand what people believe in the total package is better than what KJ's a proven winner. I know last week didn't go well. It was a stinker. It was a clunker. But the body of work for KJ is pretty good. And I think this coaching staff has done it. I mean, let's just face it. I know its completion percentage is what it is, but there's still, would you say it's still fair? There's issues that need to be developed within his passing game. I think that's a nice way of putting it. I think Kendall Bryles has done a great job of developing some of those weaknesses over time, but then masking those with the play calling, putting him in spots to be successful. There's just part of the playbook or part of the offense you'd like to have, and particularly in the intermediate passing game. Ty, he's just not – he can't pull it off. And so Kendall Bryles works around that.
Yeah, you have to kind of play to his strengths, and KJ has some strengths and he has some weaknesses, and I think that Kendall's done a pretty good job for all the crap that he seems to get from Razorback fans in certain situations, and some of that's on him. But, yes, I would agree with you on that statement.
Hey, we're in crossover season right now, meaning we got basketball games. We just finished up the World Series, but we got basketball and we got a lot of football, and the next 4 or 5 weeks are going to be busy with college football as well as we get into early December. That means you need a great way to watch TV, and that's with Dish from World of Wireless. Now, a lot of you out there listening, you're making your plans. You're already figuring out how to get off. You've taken off Friday. You'd like to take off half a day Thursday because you want to get to the Deer Woods and get set up. Games at 11 a.m., maybe you get out there and you want to watch the games throughout the weekend. Hey, that can be done with the Playmaker from World of Wireless. Take the dish I was just talking about, the dish system, and you plug it into this Playmaker. It's about an 8-pound cube. You just set it out, clear line of sight. Like, well, you're not going to put it in your food plot, but that's the kind of area you need. Not underneath trees, out in the open. It'll find the satellites. You don't have to line it up. You don't have to do anything other than plug it in. All you need is power, no internet required, none of that. And you can keep up with all the games, watch all the games you want to watch at camp this year. So if you don't have a Playmaker, it's great for deer camp. It's great for taking to the lake. It's great for a second home where you can dump that cable bill or whatever you got there, that streaming bill. It's a great way to take TV anywhere you go. 877-305-DISH is the number you can call while now. They've been your local dish dealer for over 26 years. That's 877-305-DISH for World of Wireless.
So we got the college football playoff rankings that will come out again tonight. Where do the LSU Tigers, after defeating Alabama at home, they were 10 last week, Alabama was 6. Where does LSU end up? How far do they move up the rankings in the eyes of the College Football Playoff Committee with still 2 losses?
5 or 6, I think. I expect Georgia to be number 1.
Okay.
Ohio State 2. Michigan 3 and Tennessee 4.
Tennessee over TCU?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
They still have a quality win over LSU. They still have the win over Alabama. Question is, to me, how far do you drop Alabama tonight? They stay inside the top 10.
Their only 2 losses are on the road at Tennessee, a 3-point loss, and then a 1-point loss to LSU, which is the toughest venue to play in all of college football.
I think Clemson probably drops 2-10 or maybe outside of the top 10. That's going to be interesting. I think LSU probably sees the biggest bump. Then Ole Miss, who didn't play, they probably move up, but they got a huge game, obviously, this weekend as well. Alabama could probably climb back in the top 7 or 8. I mean, Alabama's still playing for a New Year's Day 6. I really don't see a situation where they're not in a New Year's Day 6, but they're clearly out of the playoff at this point.
And I was trying to think of scenarios and ways they could get back in. It's really difficult to foresee that.
I tell you what would have to happen, and that would be Arkansas beat LSU. The only way for Alabama to get back in is to win the SEC championship. Now, how do they do that? Well, they need LSU to lose. They got to beat Ole Miss, and Arkansas needs to beat LSU, and then LSU needs to lose to A&M too to get them to the SEC title game where they could beat Georgia. That's how they get back in. But that, I mean, you talk about a skinny path. That's the. I think an SEC, even a 2-loss Alabama as an SEC champion gets in, and probably deservedly so. But I mean, think of all those stars that have to align for that to happen. I don't see it.
How much Ohio State and Michigan have you watched this year?
Minimal.
Same. And then we saw Georgia just unleash on Michigan last year. And the Buckeyes have that offense that a lot of people have been paying attention to. I mean, that game in Columbus at the end of the year is huge for college football playoff implications. I want to see if TCU goes to Texas this week. I think they're going to lose that game. Gary Patterson playing his former team. I know he's an analyst in Austin. I think Texas is going to potentially eliminate TCU from the college football playoff this week.
That would not be out of – that's not crazy talk. Mm-mm. So I just don't see – Oregon, I guess, is still the one team kind of carrying the flag for the Pac-12. TCU's carried it for the Big 12. I don't really see it. And we're talking about top 10 kind of in that playoff range. Oregon's got to be somewhere in that, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8. I don't think there's 6, but probably 7, 8, maybe 9 conversation.
Georgia's going to have to beat
last week, I think.
I think Georgia's going to have to beat Tennessee again. They'll play them in the college football playoff, either in the championship or the semifinal. They will have to beat them again, and this time on a neutral side. And
is it crazy to think LSU, though, might have it figured out, got their act together, could run the table and win the SEC title?
Georgia's just so good defensively. I mean, Jay Daniels looked pretty good in that game against Alabama at times, but that Georgia defense was getting bored this season, and then they just needed a challenge. And the best offense in college football, that is the Tennessee Volunteers, looked shell-shocked in that game in Athens. They got blown off the line of scrimmage all game long.
Which is what I was thinking was going to happen, but LSU's got real grown men up front.
Yeah, they're starting. What's crazy, and Pittman was talking about this yesterday, they have a starting right and left tackle that are both true freshmen. How many times do you see that on an SEC football team? Underclassmen, true freshmen starting right and left tackle. But it's worked for them. And they got a big game against Arkansas on Saturday. Hopefully Arkansas can get some pressure on those young linemen.
It's Taco Tuesday at Joe's Grill and Cantina. $1 tacos for the crispy beef or chicken tacos all day long. Plus they'll have other specials as well that you can enjoy. Remind you that Saturday, they'll be there for the game. In fact, anytime the Hogs are on, and we're in that crossover season we were just talking about, basketball and football. When the Hogs are on TV, half-price apps and taps at Joe's. TVs all around the restaurant. No better place to watch your Hogs than at Joe's Grill and Cantina. And it's Taco Tuesday with $1 tacos. That's Joe's Grill on 74th and Fort Smith.
Let's talk more basketball. Arkansas gets its first win of the season last night. That's next.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
No matter which road you take, The Toyota Tundra is the perfect way to navigate it. On your path, you're your own boss and set your own hours.
Look at that sunrise.
You may find yourself in some pretty remote places.
Whoa, that view. It's amazing.
Or in places where pastimes become stories that become legends.
I got one. It's a keeper. Hey, get a picture. No one's gonna believe this.
And each day ends binge-watching stars and dreaming about all the things you'll do the next day.
You know what? I'm catching a bigger fish tomorrow.
Built to follow your path, the Toyota Tundra. Build yours today. Visit your local Toyota dealer or Toyota.com for your ready-for-anything Toyota Tundra. The aggressively styled rugged Tundra is ready to be loaded up, and you can head off to wherever your path leads. Toyota. Let's go places. See packages and options at Toyota.com for feature availability.
Cooler weather is on the way. Is your heating system ready? Let Ashley Air get your home ready with their $69 fall tune-up special. Ashley Air's trained technicians will check your system and make certain it's heating your home efficiently. It's just part of Ashley Air's 100% satisfaction guarantee. On game day, call the Hogs. When your heat needs repaired, call Ashley Air. Get your $69 fall tune-up now. Just go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your tune-up. That's AshleyAir.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
When I'm governor, we will educate kids, not indoctrinate them with the left's agenda. We will empower parents, not bureaucrats. And we will prepare students for the workforce, not government dependency. I believe every kid growing up in this state should have access to a quality education, a good job, and a better life right here in Arkansas.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders will fight back against Biden and the radical left's agenda.
Inflation is a pay cut for every Arkansan, and Biden's policies are only making it worse. As governor, I'll begin phasing out the state income tax to give you a pay raise and unleash bold reforms to make Arkansas one of the best places to start and grow a business, creating thousands of new, high-paying jobs.
Fighting back against the radical left, empowering Arkansans. Sarah Huckabee Sanders for governor. Paid for by Sarah for Governor.
So what's at the top of everyone's list this year? Well, it's a hot spring spa from Burton Pools and Spas, of course. Hi, Tommy Kraft here from my good friends at Burton's. There's no better way to relax after a long day at work or a tough workout than to slip into your own hot tub in your own backyard from Burton Pools and Spas. Right now, Burton Pools and Spas has the best deals on hot spring spas. They're available right now. They've been ordered and are ready for you to choose the one you want. Stop by Burton Pools and Spas, see the different features, lighting packages, seating arrangements, sizes, everything you want, even saltwater options available with hot spring spas, and get the one you want on reserve today. See the full lineup of hot spring spas at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith, and always online at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas. They are your source for backyard fun.
Hey Arkansas fans, this is JD with JD's River Valley Restoration and Detail. We're hogs through and through and we like getting dirty, but our cars need to look clean and fresh, and that's where we come in. Come and check out our brand new expanded shop at 5606 Towson Avenue, or you can follow us on Facebook at JD's River Valley Restoration for new updates including food trucks on the lot, car shows, detail courses, and much, much more. Give us a call at 479-629-7486. We're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. JD's River Valley Restoration, where we're making new relationships one vehicle at a time.
Honey, I found a great new house for us to buy. Look at the photos.
Yeah? Who's gonna clean that big house?
We'll hire a housekeeper.
And who's gonna mow all that grass?
I will, on the weekends.
And who will get the kids to school?
We'll start a neighborhood carpool.
You thought of everything, didn't you?
Yep.
Except, who's gonna sell this house we're living in now?
Nick and Ellie Glidewell. nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the River Valley's truck superstore. No one has a bigger selection of new and pre-owned trucks. If you need a regular cab work truck, Harry has them, and the biggest selection you'll find anywhere. Over 60 full-size pre-owned trucks are in stock now, and over 250 pre-owned vehicles are on the lot. And for the first time in 90 days, new trucks are on the ground. When the other dealers don't have it, Harry does. The area's truck superstore, Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we'll see a few breaks in the clouds as we head into the afternoon. Our high this afternoon, upper 60s north, mid 70s south. Mostly cloudy skies, mid to upper 50s tonight. And then tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny, our high into the upper 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Fayetteville is 1,843 miles away, but the call of the Hogs can be heard all the way to San Francisco.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com. You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Sportsman.
We had all kinds of reasons to win, even if just winning is the reason, winning homecoming. But we had all kinds. I mean, to beat a top 25 team, to get bowl eligible, homecoming. We had all kinds of reasons to go out there and play hard and play well, and we didn't.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from hitthatline.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
You heard Coach Pittman talking about the game this past Saturday against Liberty, the reasons they should have won. We're going to come back to football coming up in just a bit because I do want to spend some more time on what Coach Pittman had to say yesterday. But I also want to talk about this basketball team. First game of the season. They win last night by 18. It was really the Trevin Brazil and Ricky Council show. Their debuts as Razorback transfers. And I think it was a lot more fun for Trevin to be the home player, Tommy, than when he came in as a Missouri Tiger.
Yeah, and boy, they didn't have a very good season last year at Missouri, so it's a much better situation for him to be in a program that's just more established and less in flux right now. You know, with basketball games coming up and basketball games here, in at the Mill is the place to stay. If you're looking for a place to be your home base during basketball season when you go up for a game, or maybe you're going to work, you're traveling, you have some travel, business traveler. In at the Mill is a great spot. Their rooms are oversized. There's plenty of room to work. They got a nice desk area. A lot of the rooms come with a couch and coffee table area to kind of be able to spread out. I don't know, when I'm on the road, I got spreadsheets and reports and, clothes everywhere, and I'm by myself. You can kind of, you just got to spread out and get everything where you need it. The Inn at the Mill's got rooms large enough to do all that. Great TVs, so you can still keep the game on while you're getting your work done at night and all those things. And it's centrally located, so if you got to go north to Benton County, easy to get to, right off the interstate at exit 69. If you're trying to get down to the arena, easy, about 10 minutes from campus as well, plus close to the Amp, Crystal Bridges, and great for going to games and all of those things. And no two-night minimum during basketball season. We love the Inn at the Mill. You will as well. Find them online at inatthemill.com. That's inatthemill.com, or call 443-1800. You'll love the ladies there that you talk to on the phone. They got that personal touch that makes it feel like home. 443-1800 for Inn at the Mill in Johnson.
First call in the morning goes to Charlie in Camden. Charlie, you had some thoughts on this basketball team last night.
You mean I'm the first one this morning? First one.
First one, man.
We've been talking a lot. So.
Oh, well, that's all right. Anyway, it was a good win last night. I think more than anything, I was just looking at things that, for me, is I kind of try to break the game down to X's and O's a little bit. I think you guys could really see it, but just our length, and we've talked about that, but, even if you get past that first guy, at the rim, you're going to have 6'7", 6'8", 6'9".
Mm-hmm.
No telling how long the wingspan meeting you vertically. And it's going to be hard to score on this team. The one thing that, they got to the free throw line a little bit. I thought that was some of those calls were a little interesting. I thought Jordan Walsh got caught for a few fouls on loose balls that I thought both guys were just going for the ball. And I don't know, I thought he had some bad luck last night. I think he's going to be really good for us. I know he didn't, he got 5 fouls, but I think he's going to be a really good player for us. We got a lot of guys, that I think he can just go out there and score 20. But the strength of this team is going to be the defense. But I wanted to ask about Jalen Graham because I know he talked about him a little bit after the game.
Yeah.
Must don't play about practice, so I feel like he had to have done something in practice, or he's in the doghouse of some sort. I think he'll get another chance at some point, and this is another guy that could go for 20, but he must have done something to not play last night because I think he could possibly be one of our better offensive players. And also I wanted to ask about Nick. I am worried about that knee a little bit. I know they're going to hold him as long as possible, but, just another guy gifted offensively. The defense is going to be the strength of the team, but we do have a lot of guys who can, obviously go get their own shot.
Yeah, Charlie, appreciate the call. So Jalen Graham, coach got asked about that after the game. If you want to watch his response or anything else he said, hit thatline.com, our YouTube channel as well. And he just kind of smiled because Bob asked him the question because he got asked if he's healthy. He's like, yeah, he's really healthy. And you're saying, well, what did he do in practice? Maybe he didn't do enough in practice to warrant playing time last night. Jalen's got probably the best post moves on the team, at least from what I've seen. I think, is it Mackay or Mikkel that played? I think it was Mackay that played last night.
Mackay.
Okay, that he has some pretty good ones too. But you got to do it on both ends of the floor, and maybe that's what coach has been frustrated with. In regards to Nick, when I see a statement that says no timetable on his return, that worries me a little bit. Whether that's right, whether that's wrong, that scares me when I don't know when he's coming back. It could be in a week. It could be in a month. We have no idea. And that, again, if you want to look at the positives, maybe the other guys have to step up and fill the holes, which we saw some of them do last night. But he's your best player. When your best player's not on the court, that means your team is not the full strength of what it could be.
No, and refresh me on this. In Europe, wasn't there a game he missed or played sparingly because of a knee problem there?
I thought that was the case. I thought I didn't know if...
I don't remember all the details, but there was something, and I assume it's the same knee, but that's an assumption on my part.
And I don't know if he re-aggravated that or if this is something completely different, completely separate from what you're talking about. But I'm 99% sure that you're correct on that.
I remember something's coming to the forefront of my mind on that right now. I think I'm right about that.
But you still look good without him. I mean, you heard what Charlie was talking about defensively. You've just got so many long arms in there that anytime North Dakota State went to the basket last night, they were met with resistance. And that's encouraging because I thought defensively it would take them a few games, but you held them to 34% last night.
Mm-hmm.
In game number 1, the actual true exhibition game, it's pretty good. And Muss was open and honest. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you he threw the game against Texas, but I think he was actually behind closed doors happy they got their butts beat. He coached under Chuck Daly. Everyone knows what Chuck Daly did in 92 with the Dream Team, the team that everyone thought could just go out there. He intentionally lost a game against some college practice players. The Dream Team was locked in from here on out. I don't know if he 100% took that formula and did it in Austin, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if that was the case because they needed to get their butts beat. They needed to be told, hey, this is college basketball. You're not playing AAU. You're not playing EYBL. You're not playing high school. This is a whole different level of competition. So I think they're also motivated to just prove that Texas game was a one-off and an anomaly.
Yeah, so sometimes that was a good place to push that button because obviously it doesn't count on your record, doesn't go toward your net ranking, none of those things. But people know it, people remember it. But I think last night's win did a large service in erasing that thought, and okay, it was just an exhibition game. If the last night's game had been really close, we'd have said, well, Nick Smith Jr. didn't play. That would have been maybe a little more concerning in some ways. So the fact that they handled North Dakota State, a team that, what Chuck said yesterday, 23 wins last year. I mean, this is not a bad team for the level they come from. This is a team that you could see in the tournament, 76-58, pretty much from about 25 minutes on. I mean, for 15 minutes in, for the last 25 minutes, they handled these guys. So
Budwal's a tough place to play, and it wasn't completely full last night. Give a shout-out to the student section. You guys were awesome. Coach Musselman at the end of his press conference said you guys were the MVP. But but I can't wait to watch games in Bud Walton Arena this season. You've got talent, you've got high flying, you got a little showtime in this basketball team with Anthony Black. It's going to be a fun year. Just buckle up.
All right, Saturday, everything begins early. Games early, so we're on early with Arkansas Game Day, 6 a.m. It's presented by Randall Ford and Bud Light. We'll be on the air. Me and Zach will be together before the game, you and Derek after the game, so we'll have you covered from beginning to end. So 6 a.m. for all of our coverage for Game Day this Saturday here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
When we come back, here's our poll question this morning. Is Arkansas going to make a bowl game this year in football? Man, that's something I never thought I was going to ask this season.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
What does everybody want this year? Their very own hot tub. Hot Spring Spas makes every day better. Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith have the very best deals on Hot Spring Spas. Supplies are very limited, so let Burton Pools and Spas know that you want one and claim your hot tub.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Dent Source, the leader in auto hail repair for over 20 years. Our certified technicians service all vehicles and offer a lifetime warranty. Dent Source will keep you on the road with a courtesy vehicle and offer free pickup and delivery. Dent Source, now open in Fort Smith.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lamley has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard. Unlike those other companies, items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
One call cleans it all.
Honey, I found a great new house for us to buy. Look at the photos.
Yeah? Who's gonna clean that big house?
We'll hire a housekeeper.
And who's gonna mow all that grass?
I will, on the weekends.
And who will get the kids to school?
We'll start a neighborhood carpool.
You thought of everything, didn't you?
Yep.
Except, who's gonna sell this house we're living in now?
Nick and Ellie Glidewell. nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess.
I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
I'm going to be honest, as we have 3 games remaining for this Arkansas football team. LSU this weekend, Ole Miss in town the following weekend, and you finish with the Missouri Tigers. I never would have thought that this would have actually been a reasonable question. Do you believe Arkansas will make a bowl game? But here we are. So I ask you, do you think Arkansas will make a bowl game? Tommy, you can answer this first, and we have some texters or callers. They can hit on it next.
Well, if you believe that they won't, that means you believe there's going to be a 3-game losing streak with a 2-game winning streak, if you want to call it that, followed by a 4-game skid to end the year. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Arkansas is going to lose 4 in a row. So, yes, I believe they'll win one of these last 3 at a minimum to get bowl eligible.
So which one?
Well, I mean, Missouri's the easiest one to circle. So, I mean, I would start with Missouri. If you said, hey, what's the game they're going to win, I'd say they'll win Missouri.
Nick from Greenwood says that they'll make a bowl game by the skin of our teeth. Again, I never would have thought that this would have actually been a question that I would have presented to our audience, but here we are at 5-4. I know college football stuff always doesn't go according to plan in any given season, but this is still weird that this is actually a reasonable question that needs to be asked. Missouri's playing better. Are you surprised like I am that Drink got a 2-year extension?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what was the motivation for that? Yeah, he had a win or two and it's shown some promise, but 2-year extension. I think they just wanted to quiet the rumors that he was going to be dismissed at the end of the year.
I think that makes sense. I tend to agree with you that Arkansas would make a bowl game. Even if they were to lose the next 2, I think they can get that win in Columbia. I don't know why I feel that Arkansas is going to play LSU really tough this weekend. And again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you they're going to win this football game. I just think it's going to be a dogfight for LSU. But you have 2 quality teams. I want to see what Bama does against Ole Miss in Oxford this weekend. That's a game. Ole Miss just had their bye last week. How that affects that football team getting that extra time. Alabama coming off an emotional loss to LSU. I think they're 11.5-point favorites on the Bet Saracen app. But yeah, I think they're going to end up making a bowl game. It stinks that we're having to even ask this question, right? Because there was so much higher expectations from the fan base, and I don't think they were too out of bounds. Most of the responses I heard, I don't know about you, was probably about 8 wins regular season. That's the consistent response. Now, some would say 9. You psychos out there said 10, but most of what I heard was 8 wins. And now they might not even get...
There's a few people had 7.
Now they might not get 6.
Yeah, I mean, 8 seems unlikely. I mean, highly unlikely. Yeah. So 7 who wouldn't settle for 7 right now? Anybody? I mean, we'd all take 7 and go to the house right now. Pick them up. Put the flag stick back in the cup. We'll take 7 and go to the next hole.
What bowl game do you think they're going to this year? If you just think they're going to get 1 win, they're going to Vegas, Houston, Memphis.
Vegas to me is interesting. And here's the thing. I don't think A&M's making a bowl. Let me get this list back out over here. I mean, the bottom of the barrel is that, what is it, the Birmingham Bowl, or the one in Birmingham. No, it's the Ticket Smarter Birmingham Bowl. Yuck. And then there's this Gasparilla Bowl that's on December 23rd in Tampa. Probably the lowly Eastern teams going there. So here's the thing about the Vegas Bowl. What's so funny?
I just the description of that bowl that you just said, the Tampa one, that's what I'm laughing at.
Oh, the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl? That's a mouthful. Yeah. I don't want to go there because I don't have to say that for 3 weeks, and I won't. We'll just call it the Gasparilla Bowl. Those are the ones after the pool of 6. Those 6 bowls in the middle where Arkansas is hopefully going to end up would be the Texas Bowl. You could certainly see that. Arkansas went there once with a similar record of what we're discussing down in Houston. You really kind of like A&M maybe to get to that bowl. I like the idea of the Vegas Bowl, not because I want to go, on the Strip and hang out in Vegas for a few days. That game's on December 17th. It's really right as the portal opens. It's you wonder how many players are going to opt out of whatever bowl you go to, since it's not going to be the Sugar, it's not going to be a New Year's Day 6, it's not going to be in Florida.
Drew Sanders will not play the bowl game. I tell you that right now.
He'll be a first rounder. He shouldn't.
Is there anyone else?
Well, I mean, you'll have players that just opt out because they're going to hit the portal. And portal opens, the 15th? I think that's right. But here's the thing. That game's on the 17th. I think that's interesting from the standpoint of you've really never break camp at that point. Maybe have a week off, then you get right back to it. You'll get your bowl game done and all of that out of the way before the holidays, before the early signing period, and really can focus on recruiting when everybody else, so I think there's some interesting timing things with that Vegas Bowl. Whoever ends up going there, that's an every other year bowl where you play a Pac-12 team. The SEC's only in that thing every other year. So I could see Texas Bowl because we've seen that with, what was the record? They went down there as 7. I think it was 7-5. They ended up 7-6.
They were 6-6.
They ended up 7-6 when they beat Texas. So that would be in. And then I think beyond that, you're probably, Gasparilla or Birmingham. But I don't think it'd be Gasparilla. They're not going to send you to Tampa with a 6-6 or 7-5 record. I'd say Vegas or Houston would be your likely bowls.
Not Memphis.
No, I could see that. I could absolutely see Memphis. But we think, Arkansas will fill the stadium up. I think that's mostly true. But you've got other, Mississippi State. They play there a lot. They got a huge fan base. Yep. Ole Miss isn't going to be there. Kentucky's probably going to be higher than that. I absolutely could see Memphis.
So what's the high point, Tommy?
Is there one?
If you win the next 3, if you somehow pull off a miraculous miracle, is the high? Is it Nashville?
But see, all those games in theory are viewed the same. The Texas Bowl, the Music City Bowl, as we know, the Nashville, they call it something else, but the game in Nashville, the Las Vegas Bowl, the Gator Bowl, the Liberty Bowl, and the one in Tampa, the ReliaQuest Bowl, that's formerly the Outback. I guess the Outback would be considered maybe the better of those because it's January 2nd. It's against a Big Ten or ACC school. So that'd probably be the best of that group, but they kind of regionally break those out. But I think the Florida games are clearly the better assignments, and you got one in Jacksonville, one in Tampa. Those are that would be. If you want to know what the high water mark is, that would be it. What the Gator or what we've always known as the Outback Bowl. That'd be the best you can do at this point.
It's weird because we've called these bowls their sponsor for so long, and then we have to reformulate what they actually are into our vocabulary.
Yeah, well, that's easier than the Ticket Smarter Birmingham Bowl. Don't want to be saying that for 3 weeks. Or the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl. Don't want to be saying that either.
No.
Would you rather have it early, like in Vegas? Or would you rather play closer to New Year's Day?
I know you wouldn't hate do you want the personal selfish vantage point, or do you want the Arkansas vantage point?
Well, I mean, it's always about you anyway. I mean, you're probably not going anyway, so what do you want? You're probably staying here and running the board, so it depends on where it's at. Depends on what I want to do.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about, where do I want to spend New Year's Eve? There's a couple destinations on here that wouldn't be awful.
I'm not sure we're going to get a game where New Year's Eve's in play.
You just stay there the rest of the weekend.
Oh, no, we got work to do. You'll be back here working.
Weekend.
You got things to do here.
That's not fun. I don't know.
Return flight the night of the game.
Ugh, that sounds awful.
Red eye.
I don't think Vegas is a bad outlook. I think there's some pros to that Vegas, like you said.
I think there's just recruiting pros there. I think transfer portal stuff, all of those things. You know, you never break camp. That's good and bad, but Vegas wouldn't be a bad deal. I've been to Vegas twice this year. I don't know that you may get that assignment by yourself.
Guess I'll fall on that sword. I've never been.
I'll send Ruskin and Zach. So. You've never been to Vegas?
Mm-mm.
I don't know. 3 times. I was there in April for business. I was there in the summer for family vacation. I don't know that.
I got no weddings this year around the Arkansas Bowl game, so I will happily fly or drive, whatever I got to do to head out there.
You can drive to Vegas.
That seems like a little far. Why don't we just eat that X and A fly? All right, so
X and A. Oh no, sir.
We asked the question earlier. Again, will Arkansas make a bowl game? That is your Red River Dodge Morning Rush daily question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com. So Tommy's going to give his SEC power rankings coming up in just a bit. Bruce Stand of Pradco Fishing is also going to be joining us as well. We talked a little basketball earlier. Back to Arkansas football for just a sec. So you heard from Coach Pittman, if you listened to his press conference yesterday. Again, want to reiterate what he said about KJ Jefferson and his status.
This week than he did last week. So I expect him to be able to throw today, and if that's the case, then I feel like he'll be fine by Saturday. You know, I answered a question the other night about talking to Kendall about KJ. That question was more in reference of what was his health, not necessarily he's not playing well or we're going to take him out. It was about, is he healthy enough to play? And the answer was yes. And so there was never really a thought of pulling him out because of performance. It was about whether he was healthy or not.
Coach talked about what he's kind of dealing with, and he said clavicle. That's the medical term that he used, right?
Up here in your collarbone area, right below by the shoulder blades. It's below that on the backsides where the clavicle is. So, I mean, you got shoulder pads on. Those guys wear the rib protectors, the flak jacket, if you will. But, I mean, when you got 300-pound guys hitting you and landing on you, that things – and KJ's a big guy. I mean, Malik wouldn't survive that for a year, I don't believe. If KJ's going to have an injured clavicle and those kind of injuries, can you imagine what would happen to Malik over the course of a season if he was your starter 12 games? I'm of the opinion with his lighter frame, he would not survive a full season physically.
He'd take some licks.
Yeah.
KJ gives some licks. I think Malik would take some licks if he wasn't caught. All right, let's talk to Bruce Stand of Pradco Fishing as he now joins the program. Bruce, are you ready for Tommy's SEC power rankings?
I'm ready, man.
All right, let's get it.
I don't think they're going to go the way he had hoped we were going to talk about this week.
We're not going to be 1-1A this week.
No, and so I'm glad I kind of left it the way I did last week, and it remains Georgia #1 at the top this week.
Okay.
All right, Tennessee, I'm leaving Tennessee at 2. There's no reason after a win over LSU, an impressive win over LSU, and a win over Bama to drop Tennessee any further than off the 1A line to 2. So Tennessee a solid 2 this week because I believe they're better than LSU as they proved on the field, and I think they're better than Bama as they proved on the field. So Georgia 1, Tennessee 2. I've got LSU at 3 after beating Alabama this week. I don't know how you can put Bama ahead of them. I know the record's the same, but head-to-head, what I just saw, I mean, I don't think anyone can really argue that. Bama at 4. Anybody think there's a better team right now than Bama outside of the 3 ahead of them? Ole Miss could prove that this week, but we're not there yet. So Georgia, Tennessee, LSU, Bama, 1, 2, 3, 4. Where am I right? Where am I wrong?
I think you're spot on. I do think, the eye test, when you looked at the game Saturday, obviously Tennessee didn't play well. You got to take into consideration that crowd was just insane. They obviously had problems with the snap. I think they had 5 illegal procedures in the first half. So credit to Georgia. They're the defending national champs. But Tennessee did have a big win over LSU, and Tennessee did beat on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee did beat Alabama, so I think they earned that number 2 spot. But, LSU looked impressive, and it's hard to believe they turned it around that quick, and I think you got to give credit. We've been making fun of Brian Kelly ever since he got to LSU, but, man, he's got a pair. He went for it, and that was the right call.
Yeah, that fake Southern accent knew exactly what to do with that 2-point conversion, so... All right, so those are the top 4. I got Ole Miss at 5. They got a chance to put up or shut up this week against Bama. So we're going to find out if Ole Miss is there, but I believe they're the 5th best team in the league. Kentucky, this is where the work begins. I think top 5 are easy. It's easy to lay out in this league. Kentucky at 6. Any problem with that?
Nope.
All right, Mississippi State at 7. Nope. Arkansas at 8. Should Arkansas have fallen further after losing to Liberty?
Maybe Florida.
I got Florida at 9 right after Arkansas. And it's just Mississippi State beat Arkansas. I think Kentucky's better than all 3 of those. Is Arkansas better than Florida? I think Arkansas had a bad game. It was a clunker and a stinker.
But a good game between the Gators and the Razorbacks.
Yeah, it would be. Very evenly matched 2 mediocre teams right there. At least that's how Arkansas has been playing. I mean, I don't say that
they're
just be a jerk, but that's what the record says they are. So I got Arkansas at 8, Florida at 9. No issues. I think we're starting to figure out what this league is. All right, Missouri at 10, ahead of South Carolina.
Okay.
South Carolina at 11. Then it's A&M, Auburn, and Vandy, the bottom 3. Anything out of order, Bruce?
No, I think you got it spot on. And the other thing I'll say about Missouri, I mean, they're losing a lot, but they're playing really good defense. They're in a lot of close games, and you see effort, which I think, as a fan of a team that's not doing well, you just want to see effort at some point. And I think they deserve that ranking just because they're trying every week. And Eli got a 2-year extension. That was a little bit of a surprise, but I think, when you look at their program, who you're going to get to come there. Do you need to reverse course? They're playing hard. I'm not going to say they're playing well, but yeah, that's probably where they belong. Georgia probably not going to lose. I don't really see anybody beating them, even LSU in the title game. So I think Georgia's probably going to run the table. And all Tennessee fans are just hoping the Vols win out. 11-1, and a bunch of other teams lose, and somehow they can still sneak in that top 4.
I think they'll be number 4 tonight. Still, I don't think they'll drop out of the top 4. I think they will be number 4 tonight.
I think Georgia's got.
It was an ugly loss. That did not look good offensively at all.
I think Georgia's got a sneaky tough game this weekend in Starkville. I would not be surprised at all if Mississippi State won that game. Well, I think that is going to be
I don't believe that.
If you've watched Mississippi State this season, they play night and day different in Davis Wade relative to when they go on the road. And I know some teams look off when they look like a different football team when they play outside their home stadium. And Georgia just had their most emotional win of the season. They just, no offense, Bruce, they just whooped Tennessee. I think there's going to be a little, and I think there's going to be a little of a letdown this weekend. Will that lead to a win? I mean, Rogers is a great quarterback, man. And I know Georgia just shut down Hendon Hooker, but I think it's going to be a tougher sledding than a lot of people expect this weekend in Starkville.
I've been listening to you all week. You're emotional. You're young. I know you're judging
very emotional
right now. Hey, I was there when Jack Crow lost to Citadel. Me and about 35,000 other Razorbacks, and it'll get better. This is nowhere near that. It's nowhere near any recent terrible losses. I mean, Liberty's a good football team. Y'all bounce back, but Georgia, they're going to run through Mississippi State. Mississippi State can't stop them. And Mississippi State's going to get blown out.
I think the better chance for Georgia to have a problem would be with Kentucky.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That game's the following week, and that's in Lexington. I think if there's a banana pill to be slipped on at all for Georgia, it will be the Kentucky game.
Bruce, to your point, I think two things can be true. I don't think the Liberty game was as severe as a Western Kentucky, North Texas, even Colorado State to some extent. But I also think Arkansas fans have a right to believe that they shouldn't lose at home to Liberty. That's kind of where I draw the line and fall into in that line of thinking when it comes to this past loss. And I think those can both be true. That was not the worst. I had people tell me because they were just drunk and ticked off that it was the worst loss in program history. No, it wasn't. Like, come on. But at the same time, the expectation as an Arkansas football team, Frank Broyles was rolling over in his grave watching that game. And the expectation, you shouldn't lose that game. Two things can be true in that.
The only thing I'll say to that is college football is still a game of emotion. You wonder why Alabama barely beat Texas A&M and Tuscaloosa, struggles with them. Emotionally, when you're in an SEC schedule in the middle of conference, you cannot get up every game. Liberty billed that as the biggest game in program history, coming off of just demolition of Brigham Young. Beat them as bad as the Razorbacks did. So, you know, when you look at how they approached that game, it meant more to steal the SEC moniker. It meant more to Liberty than it did Arkansas.
Yeah.
And it showed on the field.
And on that point, Bruce, I don't think this has been mentioned by anyone in television or radio or in print, but you look at Arkansas' schedule, and I think this was scheduled a couple years back, and this is an athletic department mishap. You can't have that game scheduled in November. You just can't do it.
No.
You got to have a cupcake.
No.
And Coach Pittman will never say we needed a cupcake, but Florida Atlantic is your November team that you play non-conference next season. They're 4-5 this year. Liberty's not in the same stratosphere. And you, as an athletic administration, have to help out your head coach. They're doing it next year. You got 3 cupcakes and BYU at home. That's what you need.
Well,
if you're playing an 8-game
totally
SEC schedule, you have to have a sister of the poor team that you can just beat their brakes off. And you didn't have that this year at all.
No. There's certain programs, Appalachian State, Coastal Carolina, used to be Southern Mississippi, Air Force, anybody that runs a triple option. First of all, don't schedule them all. Second, if you're stupid enough to schedule them, don't schedule them in October or November.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It was the wrong time to have Liberty on the schedule. I'm not saying you should have played Liberty, and this is a one-off. You don't have to return it. But it was the placement in the schedule was probably a bigger issue with it. All right, Bruce Stanton, Pradco Fishing, right here in Arkansas. 20 different brands. I'm sure there's several of them that will work for you on the river or the lake or the creek or wherever you might be headed. I know there's some guys that might go to deer camp near a fishing spot. You could take something up, take you a pole along. If the deer hunting's not going great, you can slip down to the creek and do some creek fishing.
Yeah, you know, and a lot of people are going to deer camp. It's a big holiday in Arkansas. Saturday it opens. Got the Battle of the Boot Saturday. But, you know, if you watch the weather, there's a big front coming through. And this time of year, you know, this kind of gets bass fishermen excited. You're going to be in the 80s midweek. By the time you get to Friday and Saturday, it's going to be in the 30s, those 50-degree temperature drops. Usually on the front side of that, there's just some excitement, a feed up. I don't know all the scientific reasons, but bass like eating before a front comes through. So right now, on most of your lakes, the water temperatures are in the high 50s, low 60s. Just depends on if you're north or south. Crankbaiting on chunk rock's a great thing to do. Take a Bomber fat-free shad, Bomber Model A, Norman Deep Little End. Just crankbaits like that. Work chunk rock banks, main lake points, and a lot of times, especially if they're pulling water, a lot of bass will be holding on those areas. They're just feeding up for the cold weather. Their metabolism slows down. Unlike us, you know, we just keep eating more when we go watch ball games in front of the TV. But, you know, bass, they slow down. So right now they're feeding up, and it's a great time to go. Take off work Wednesday and Thursday, go buy some Bomber lures at Walmart or Bass Pro, and then go to deer camp and watch the Battle of the Boot. That'd be a good way to spend the week.
Might as well just take off at noon today. Just go ahead and get started. I know there's a bunch of guys trying to figure out how to get out of work early on Thursday or Friday to get to deer camp, that's for sure. And take along some fishing stuff. And like I said, that weather change is going to make it fun. Pradco, right here in Arkansas. You can find everything at lurenet.com, Walmart, Bass Pro Shops. Your favorite tackle stores will have a lot of this stuff as well, so look for it there. Bruce, we'll see you back here next Tuesday, and I guess good luck to your Vols the rest of the way.
There you you go. Talk to y'all next week.
All right, Bruce Stanton, Pradco Fishing. It'd be a great time to get to one of our favorite spots, Ty, and that's up at Gaston's. Winter rates are coming up beginning in December. 40% off lodging when you go to Gaston's White River Resort. That means you can save money with your 2 or more night stay. It's good for weekend getaways, or maybe you've been thinking about taking a group of customers before the year is out. Or a group at work, take them fishing. Gaston's is a great spot for that. Expert guides, topwater boats, wonderful restaurant that overlooks the White River. It's all right there in one spot. So it's a great way to relax. It's a great way to entertain. It's one of the true treasures in our state. And as you heard Bruce talking, the fishing's going to be really good for a while. And on the White River, it's always good because the water conditions don't change a lot throughout the course of the year. So it's always good no matter what month you go. 870-431-5202. Ask about winter rates that kick in for December and through the winter months at Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
No matter which road you take, the Toyota Tundra is the perfect way to navigate it. On your path, you're your own boss and set your own hours.
Look at that sunrise.
You may find yourself in some pretty remote places.
Whoa, that view. It's amazing.
Or in places where pastimes become stories that become legends.
I got one. It's a keeper. Hey, get a picture. No one's going to believe this.
And each day ends binge watching stars and dreaming about all the things you'll do the next day.
You know what? I'm catching a bigger fish tomorrow.
Built to follow your path, the Toyota Tundra. Build yours today. Visit your local Toyota dealer or Toyota.com for your ready-for-anything Toyota Tundra. The aggressively styled rugged Tundra is ready to be loaded up, and you can head off to wherever your path leads. Toyota. Let's go places. See packages and options at Toyota.com for feature availability.
The Powerball jackpot from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery is now more than $1 billion. So, what would you do if you won?
I'd buy a baseball team.
Ooh, I would definitely buy my mom a Tesla so that she can drive cool, look cool.
If I won a jackpot, I'll start a cooking school for the youth in the city.
Got your ticket? If not, visit your local lottery retailer for your chance to win the Powerball jackpot of more than $1 billion. This is winning. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Like me.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
I'm Steve Womack, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message. This election isn't about me. It's about the future of our nation. In less than 2 years, we've watched the radical policies of the far left unleash crisis after crisis. The Biden-Pelosi agenda has wrecked our economy, making it harder for families to put food on the table and gas in their cars. It's destroyed our energy independence, left our borders wide open, and undermined national security. Their response? Raise your taxes, spend more money, and supersize the IRS. It's only strengthened my resolve to preserve freedom and defeat these socialist ideas. If you're like me and committed to upholding the Constitution, protecting individual liberty, and prioritizing responsible spending and regulatory relief, I humbly ask for your support in this election. Together, we will secure the promise of Arkansas and America for future generations. Paid for by Womack for Congress.
It's getting colder outside. Did you know you could save up to 60% on your heating bill by converting to safe, reliable natural gas from AOG? The savings can actually pay for your conversion cost. So why pay more to heat your home and water? The convenience and abundant supply of American-produced natural gas makes it the right choice. Call 784-2000 or visit AOGC.com and switch to natural gas today. AOG, energy for life.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
Late breaking news. Central Hydraulics has teamed up with Wacker Neuson to meet your ever-growing equipment needs. Wacker Neuson offers loaders, excavators, skid steers, telehandlers, and more. Central Hydraulics is also your Gates Hydraulic Hose Center. Stop by today at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith. Central Hydraulics, helping you move the world.
The Arkansas Fraternal Order of Police stood tall and unified this week to urge voters to vote no on Issue 4. They're calling the campaign misleading to voters, and they warn of the harm it will bring to our children, along with even more unintended consequences we cannot afford. Stand with the police and vote against Marijuana Issue 4, paid for by the Family Council Action Committee.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the River Valley's truck superstore. No one has a bigger selection of new and pre-owned trucks. If you need a regular cab work truck, Harry has them, and the biggest selection you'll find anywhere. Over 60 full-size pre-owned trucks are in stock now, and over 250 pre-owned vehicles are on the lot. And for the first time in 90 days, new trucks are on the ground. When the other dealers don't have it, Harry does. The area's truck superstore, Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Oh, yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas Razorbacks in our championship! The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
No, a lot of you are curious. Say, what's the deal with Nick Smith Jr.? Coach got asked about that last night.
No, we'll get ready for the next game, and that's all we can do is continue to try to get better. Obviously, roles were really shuffled in a short amount of time, and, we changed starting lineup even today. All week we've gone with a completely different starting lineup. 2 new guys basically in the starting lineup. That shoot-around.
I don't like spreading mass hysteria, but when you don't know someone's status or future status because there's no timetable on Nick's return, that worries me. When I don't know something solid and resolute about an injury, that concerns me. And again, I don't know if it's going to be a week, a month, what the timetable is. But again, that's what keeps me up at night when I don't know about something like this.
Does he play in Maui? That to me is the number one question. Ooh. So you don't think he's going to play the next 2 games? Fordham, and then who's the third one? I can't remember. They play Fordham Friday, but then they go to Maui. If he doesn't play in Maui, could be it's not O2 and barbecue, but to borrow the basketball phrase or the baseball phrase, it could be O2 and barbecue. It could be really disappointing because you're playing Louisville. They've had some struggles. Creighton's waiting on you on the other side of that. They're like number 9 in the country. I mean, there's some really, really good basketball out there. So
they brought back their best player. I can't think of the kid's name.
You need Nick Smith healthy. So if he doesn't play these first couple of games, so be it. But I want to see him play in Maui. That's got to be what this is all about: is getting that knee ready to play in Maui.
You do win 76-58 last night. Also got scared when Anthony Black kind of limped off and was helped to the locker room. Now he ended up coming back in, which again was a good thing. You're 30-0 in Bud Walton home openers. 30-0. This is again the 100.
I mean, he hadn't scheduled very many hard teams in those 30.
No,
that's good scheduling, is what that is.
This is the 100th season of Razorback basketball. But yeah, I was encouraging that. Now, here I want you to do this before we move on to what Coach said about Miles Slusher and Anthony Brown.
Yeah.
When you go to a basketball game with Dylan
yeah,
and the Simba cam pops on, I want you to grab your son and try and lift him up in the air and see how ticked off he gets at you and how embarrassed he would be by that.
I better start doing some push-ups if I'm going to. He's 12 now, moving closer to 13. I don't know that I can Simba him up there, so to speak.
I can see Dylan just.
That'd be a workout right there.
Yeah, I can see Dylan just looking at you like, Dad, what are you doing? And then just start freaking out when he sees what's going on. That you're trying to lift him up for the Simba camp.
We're supposed to go together to the LSU game this weekend. Hopefully, Dad doesn't have a lot of questions to answer, a lot of tears to dry away this weekend. Hopefully that outing will go fine.
Okay.
So.
You do have an announcement game time, last game of the season. Night game, SEC night game. I was ecstatic when I saw that. Either 6 on ESPN or 6:30 on the SEC network.
We can all freeze our butts off together.
Hallelujah, man.
Yeah, hallelujah.
Hallelujah. All right, the other
since you're so damn excited about it, you're doing the post-game show.
No, Derek.
No, sir. You wanted this. You're doing the post-game show.
Derek and Zach already volunteered.
I believe I've got the white hat on here. You're doing the post-game show.
I'm just trying to give in to what they want to do, man. Well, they wanted to. They volunteered already.
Hey, all of us old guys want to have these earlier games so we can be in bed by normal time at 9 o'clock. You wanted this. You're doing the post-game show.
I've got plans after.
I don't care what your plans are doing the post-game show.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, well.
All right, here's Sam.
I've got it figured out.
Here's Sam Pittman on Miles Slusher and Anthony Brown. Interesting comments that he made in regards to their PT this Saturday.
Yeah, we've suspended them for at least 1 week. They've got AM runs. They've done one this morning, and they'll both participate in practice on the scout team. And it's not acceptable. But part of our job is to teach these kids. Hopefully, we'll get that done.
You've seen Radio, right?
The movie?
Yes. You remember, and I can't think of the star football player's name that was getting offered by Clemson. If you haven't seen the movie, lock Radio in the shed, they're throwing the football at him, and then coach just runs them to the ground. Now, different situation, of course, but you think about those gassers that you had to run back in high school when you did something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I can only imagine what a college conditioning screw-up is like when you butcher something like these guys did.
My dad had a funny story. He played at Washita, and they had a little situation, and Coach Buddy Bob Benson found out about it, and they were called in for Saturday conditioning at basically daylight. And he said next to the field there at Washita, the stadium, a carnival or a circus was setting up that day. He said they weren't even started. They hadn't even pulled in when we started. He said by the time we got done late that afternoon, they had pretty well set up all the tents and everything. He said they used a 10-pound weight for a baton and ran 400-meter relays. He said the finishing act was 100-yard bear crawls, and the winner got to quit. He said it was getting dark, and they had started at daylight. Yeah, those kind of help sessions aren't no fun. He said at one point, Coach Benson had fallen asleep in the press boxes. He was yelling at him on the microphone.
You know how there's, geez, they was probably drinking.
They're going back to early 70s.
If I had to guess,
at Washita that was kind of frowned upon.
Yeah, well, it was at Little Rock Christian too, and I remember our head soccer coach Barry McCaskill said, "Now guys, if we catch you drinking at prom, you're gonna regret it on Monday." Of course, our team didn't listen. A bunch of guys got drunk at prom, and my knees and legs have never been more sore in my entire life ever.
Usually your abdomen for throwing up.
Yeah, it was bad.
Find a trash can.
It was bad. That is going to do it for your Hog Update. It is brought to you by Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
It's time for me to shave this beard.
No, I'd keep it. It may be a little cool for that post-game show after the Ole Miss game.
Do I really have to do the post?
Yes.
My best friend's coming to town that week.
Well, he can watch you do the post-game show. You begged for the night game. You begged for it. Greg Sankey listened. You'll need it to stay warm that night. We'll probably have you on location somewhere. We'll have you on Dixon. We'll have you across from Dixon so you can see what's going on. But you can participate when it's over and all the gears return to the radio station. You're the one that wanted this.
Yeah, because
it's a big deal to you.
Derek and Zach are going to do post game.
Well, I do. Who told you that?
They volunteered, man.
No, they haven't.
Well, that sucks.
Cooler weather is on the way. Is your heating system ready? Let Ashley Air get your home ready with their $69 fall tune-up special. Ashley Air's trained technicians will check your system and make certain it's heating your home efficiently. It's just part of Ashley Air's 100% satisfaction guarantee. On game day, call the Hogs. When your heat needs repaired, call Ashley Air. Get your $69 fall tune-up now. Just go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your tune-up. That's AshleyAir.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Robert.
And this is Matt. And this is Elizabeth.
And we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
Mom, Dad, I have an idea. We still have a lot of inventory to the point where I'm having an avalanche of sweatshirts on a daily basis. How about we have a holiday sale so I can actually move in the stockroom?
I'm all for it, but what do you have in mind?
What if we do a discount code for the online stores so people everywhere can save on their hog stuff?
How would you tell everybody about the discount code?
Y'all know that Twitter, Facebook Live
You mean
thingy?
Facebook Live.
The dad side is strong with this one.
Anyway, what if I do one every Monday announcing what the code is for that week?
That's what I'm saying. Tune in every Monday morning to the Stadium Shop Facebook and Twitter pages to get weekly updates on what's new and what the discount code for the week is.
Also, stop by the store and take advantage of our inventory reduction sale going on now until Christmas.
We're located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium in Fayetteville.
Or you can use the code of the week and go online to shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com.
Or call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
It just doesn't get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
For a dependable, fuel-efficient tractor from a company committed to the future, choose a Branson tractor. Each of our tractors is backed by a 6-year limited warranty with models available ranging in horsepower from 22 to 58. You are sure to find the tractor that is right for you. Make sure you call or stop in today at the new location for Bush Tractor at 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Again, that is 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Or you can check them out online at bushtractor.com.
The Golf Nut has been Fort Smith's #1 golf shop since 1994. Beat the heat, book a time in their hitting base with the TrackMan technology, or play around on one of the many courses like Bethpage Black or Pebble Beach. Needing help with your game? Call Matt Brooks today and schedule a lesson using the simulator. For the best selection of clubs, shoes, and apparel, stop by the Golf Nut today. 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith, your #1 stop shop for everything golf.
Who's hungry, Fort Smith? Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. And this month, I'm serving up heaping helpings of deals on Rath road-ready vehicles, each one hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center. So right now, you could save up to $4,500 on a nicer, newer car, based on the price of the car you choose. It's our feast of savings, and these deals are all gravy, so if you're sick of your old ride, toss it like yesterday's leftovers. Come in today, and you can save up to $4,500. Keeping the car you have? Get it ready for winter in our Meineke Car Care Center with a free winter-ready inspection, half-off brakes, and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. So pull up a chair at my feast of savings, and you could save up to $4,500 on a nicer, newer car. But hurry! A deal this hot will cool down fast. Only in Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit rileyfarmdental.com.
This is Max Avery, and I approve this message. Inflation is out of control, violent crime is on the rise, and the opioid epidemic is only getting worse. It's become clear that we need to make changes, and the time is now. I'm running for state representative because I understand what you're saying, and I aim to make a difference. When we unite and focus on the issues at hand, we can make a positive impact on our community. For far too long, the people of District 49 have not had a seat at the table at our capital. I believe we can drastically cut taxes and still balance the budget. I believe we can have safe city streets while taking big steps to keep fentanyl from taking the lives of our loved ones. I believe we can pay our valuable teachers better and give parents a choice on where and how their children are educated. If you're unhappy with how North Fort Smith has been represented for the past decade, then I am the candidate for change. If you believe we can do this together, I ask for your vote on Election Day, November 8th. My name is Max Avery, and I'm running for state representative. Paid for by Avery for Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we'll see a few breaks in the clouds as we head into the afternoon. Our high this afternoon, upper 60s north, mid 70s south. Mostly cloudy skies, mid to upper 50s tonight. And then tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny, our high into the upper 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Tally at the 40, midfield, at the UCF 40, the 30, Tally at the 20, the 10, the 5, touchdown Arkansas!
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com. KERX, Paris Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your mornings.
ESPN 95.3. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
We had all kinds of reasons to win, even if just winning is the reason, winning homecoming. But we had all kinds. I mean, to be the top 25 team, to get bowl eligible, homecoming. We had all kinds of reasons to go out there and play hard and play well, and we didn't.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
It is hour number 3 of a Toyota Tuesday edition of the Morning Rush. Our friend Officer Breeden stopped by and brought some breakfast burritos,
Man.
Tommy.
Hadn't seen you in 100 years, man. It's great to see Officer Breeden. Thank you for coming by. Hey, we're brought to you this morning by Brothers Roofing. Is your neighbors getting a new roof? Everyone in your neighborhood gotten one? You hadn't had your roof inspected yet? Or maybe that hailstorm came through and you're not sure if your roof's got damaged. Maybe there's a leak all of a sudden. Time to call Brothers Roofing, 479-353-3877. You see, Brothers been around for 25 years, and he's done both sides of this. He's been an insurance adjuster, and he's been in the roofing business. And now he leads crews all over Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley and beyond, putting quality roofs in. And Brother personally inspects every roofing project they do at the conclusion of the project. So you can count on quality materials like the shingles and the underlayment. The ice and water barriers, particularly in those valleys, are so important to make sure they're done right. That's why you need a company you can trust, and that's Brothers Roofing. 479-353-3877, licensed in Arkansas and more than adequately insured for your protection. Brothers Roofing. Find them on Facebook as well, 353-3877. That's Brothers Roofing.
Tell you what else you can trust. That's the words of Tom Murphy, Arkansas Democrat Gazette, Whole Hog Sports, who now joins us on the program. Tom, good morning. Appreciate you jumping in as always, man. I want to start with the recent development of the suspensions of Miles Slusher and Anthony Brown. Kind of your thoughts on Coach Pittman announcing that yesterday.
Well, I mean, I think it's probably the right thing to do, even though it's, you know, kind of outwardly not a, you know, an egregious. Well, I think that the lesson is you don't put your hands on the policeman, and it just seemed like they were being kind of obstinate, or Anthony Brown was being obstinate, staying in the road. So, you know, you got to learn, and as Sam Pittman said yesterday, part of their job is teaching, and so if they ask you to get out of the roadway, and there's a group of people, and you just get on out of the roadway. You could have avoided the whole thing. So hopefully lesson learned.
Tom, that was one of the big things that came out yesterday. Also, I know Coach got asked several times about the health of KJ Jefferson. What do you think is going on with him in regards to what he's dealing with as an injury-wise.
Yeah, there was a lot of psychological components, I think, to yesterday's talk. I think some of the reporters are trying to get inside what the locker room is like. Where's the confidence level? Why wasn't there an emotion? And it led to Sam Pittman talking about how when your leaders are injured, your most outspoken guys, that maybe, they understand they're not playing to their full capability, and maybe they've missed some tackles if you're Bumper Pool, or maybe you've missed some reads if you're KJ Jefferson, or haven't done something physically that your teammates have seen you do before. Then maybe they're more reluctant to speak up in the locker room because they know that their teammates have seen these plays they once made. And so Sam Pittman was talking like, we have to encourage our leaders to go ahead and speak up and go ahead, call somebody out for a missed assignment or whatever, because you're the leaders. And even if you're injured, your teammates understand what you've done in the past. And so there's a little bit of a psychological component to everything that's going on. I mean, he says it's a bruised clavicle. So when you put your shoulder in motion and your clavicle is bruised, it's painful. Here's the thing about KJ. We all know he's a fighter. We all know he's, every play, there's some big decision, on the read, on the option, do I give, do I keep, and do I pass? And, Liberty made things tough. They were sending a guy high at KJ, so that discouraged him keeping the ball. And if the few times he did, they got him in the backfield some of those times. They were also doing twists on the inside of that made some of the reads to give to Rocket or other backs. They were stuffed at the line too. So Liberty really, really schemed them up, and they were fired up for this game. I mean, it's no different than what we thought going in, that Hugh Freeze was going to put a lot of marbles, and they did. And so KJ, Sam Pittman said that he felt better on Sunday, and he expects him to have a better practice week. And so I think we saw the result of a light practice week in some of his, the physical act of the throws. The 4th and 5 comes to mind when they had a nice little scheme. Keytron was coming across the middle at first down distance, and if he puts the ball on him, they convert. And they didn't because he threw behind him. And there was a few others like that. But KJ did come on in the game, and he was more on target, and his receivers helped him big time. Jaden Hazelwood's 4th down catch was huge. Matt Landers fighting for the extra yardage when he got spun around. He was short of the chain, spun around, got the first down. So his receivers, showed up for him. And I've given you a long answer to say that I think a healthier KJ Jefferson will give them a chance against LSU. But, y'all, when you boil it down, there's 2 plays on this season. KJ trying to jump from the 3 against A&M that turned that game. And then, Trey Knox had a ball in his hands in the end zone, and instead of it being a touchdown in a 14-7 game, it bounces over and their DB picks it, and then Liberty pulls off their longest, most effective drive of the game, 80 yards, and goes ahead 21-0. Now, those 2 plays are huge. Arkansas should be 7-2, but they should have to, they have to fight through psychologically everything that's happened to them and put a good product on the field Saturday.
All right, so you've gotten these questions, I'm sure. We've gotten a ton of them. If KJ wasn't 100%, why didn't Malik play? I've got a take. I want to hear yours first.
Well, my take during the game was, wow, KJ appears to be off. They first 3-4 drives, they had some negative yardage rush plays. His accuracy was a little off, and I thought, well, maybe you give Malik a series, okay? But the coaches have to look at it as what will this mean to KJ? Have we lost confidence in him? And so if they had done that, you got to tell KJ, look, we know your clavicle's hurting. We know it hurts you to throw. We're just going to throw curveball here, see if Malik can get to the edge, see if there can be a spark. Now, if it's very successful, what do? Well, you say, KJ, when you're healed up and ready, you're our guy. That never changes. But I think what they were hearing from KJ was, I feel okay. And Kendall Browse is saying, he's our guy. And so it's a tough call. You have to know the inner workings of your locker room, what it means to the players, what it means to KJ, what it means to Malik, if you had given him a series. From the outside looking in, I thought give them a series in the second quarter when they were struggling. Yeah. If it's successful, stick with him for a while. If it's not successful, go back to KJ. But I don't know. What's your take, Tommy?
Well, Hazelwood said after the game that Malik took all the snaps in practice last week, right? So we know what practice looked like last week. My take is Kendall Briles saw all of those snaps. He watched all of that film. He saw Malik Hornsby all week long during practice and still didn't have the confidence to put him in the game. So even when things weren't going right, things were out of sync, Arkansas wasn't prepared. And I think one of the reasons they weren't prepared is they could not simulate the speed of the Liberty defense during practice with their scout team. Even with all of that, you added up and the conclusion was, yeah, KJ may be 75 or 80%, but we believe more in him based on what we saw in practice than what we would get out of Malik. And that's what I think. They had every reason in the world to put Malik in, and based on what their own eyes told them through a week's practice, they didn't do it.
Well, I mean, that's a legit take. And what Liberty was doing would have made Hornsby's reads, he's not as seasoned at the reads that KJ is. And some of the stuff they were doing made KJ have, his eyes were telling him this, and he made the decision, and it didn't work. So it would have been just as tough a read for Malik Hornsby. So, hey, Liberty just put a good scheme on him. It was a confluence of events. Your number one quarterback's not 100%. You give up some pass plays in the first half. And who's to say if Arkansas had made it a tough game, would Liberty have not gone back to the air and still had success? We don't know that. But they did come after Jonathan Bennett more in the second half. But, Malik Hornsby definitely needs some more seasoning. We saw, the upside of him against Mississippi State. He got to the edge. They couldn't tackle him. He made some pass plays, but also when they had to pass, they set back a few times and they picked him a couple times. And honestly, Emmanuel Forbes' interception was one of the most athletic you'll see all year. He had a guy, and if he puts another, couple of feet on the ball or even 6 or 8 inches, that's a touchdown for Arkansas. So, I don't know. I think if you're Arkansas and you're looking at post KJ, that a little bit more seasoning for Malik Hornsby, and you have a competitive quarterback. But I think on Saturday, you're right. They made the decision that based on what we know, KJ, this percent capacity, 75, 80, whatever it might have been, he's our guy. And I think that
they trusted him more.
Psychologically,
they trusted him more, Tom.
They did. And psychologically, it's like, what does this mean to the team? What does it mean to KJ? We think he's going to get it together, and he did. It just happened to be a little too late. And look, if he scores the 2-point conversion and they go into overtime, they win the game, we still have this conversation, right? But it's just they have a win, and so it's more magnified when you don't have the win.
Tom Murphy, Arkansas Democrat Gazette, Whole Hog Sports with us every Tuesday and Thursday on the Morning Rush. So, Tom, if they had issues against Liberty, how are they going to handle Ojulari, Perkins, and the rest of this LSU pass rush this weekend?
Yeah, that's a great question. And so it does mean you have to be a lot more efficient, and that means KJ has to have more work in practice this week to understand what his reads are, what those schemes are. You have to have good film study. And now LSU's, base defense or their base scheme is not the twisting and all that Liberty did, according to Sam Pittman. But they do have it. They've done it this year. And you can look back to last year and say, wow, man, we played man behind a bunch of pressure and blitzing and really put Arkansas behind the 8 ball. And if not for KJ doing some heroic things, getting out of tackles, maybe they win that game. So I think LSU is going to be very confident that they can slow or stem Arkansas's run game and see if Arkansas can beat them through the pass. So that's why it was a little surprising to me to see what the line was to open, 2.5 points. But those guys always know something, so we'll see.
What kind of dynamic is it for Greg Brooks and Joe Fouché going against their former team, and Dwight McLaughlin and Landon Jackson going against their former team this weekend?
Yeah, I think it's a huge deal. Brooks and Fouché obviously being a little bit more veteran than the two, McLaughlin and Jackson that Arkansas has. But I think for Fouché and Jackson, as Sam Pittman pointed out, they played their hearts out for Arkansas. They're going to want to show the fans, hey, we're good players, and we're getting it done down here at LSU. Both of them had made huge plays this year. I think Brooks taking a ball away, much like Quincy McAdoo last week, just took it away from an Auburn receiver, was a huge play in that game. Because if they don't have it, Auburn could go down and win the game, or at least take the lead late in the game. And so Brooks has made plays. Fouché has certainly made plays since he came back from missing the first 4, I believe. And I don't doubt that they're going to be big components in this game on Saturday. And then, of course, McLaughlin, he's had a good year. I mean, he gave up his first touchdown of the season last week. He got his back to the play a little bit of a broken play, extra time. And, you know, if he maybe sticks a hand out, he can break that one up. But anyway, I think he'll be wanting to show for his teammates he still got it and all that stuff. And, you know, Landon Jackson, he's been a good component, man. They've been a little bit of a since the sack binge to start the season, they haven't had as many. But I think Landon Jackson blocking the field goal at Auburn was big. And, you know, I think he's going to grow into a pretty doggone good defensive end here.
Well, after a disappointing football weekend, thank the Lord the basketball team won last night. 76-58 over North Dakota State, playing without Nick Smith. Tom, what's wrong with his knee? When will he be back? And what were your takeaways from the season opener?
Yeah, I'm not sure what's wrong with Nick's knee. I mean, it's maintenance stuff or whatever, you know, precautionary. So hopefully here in a week or two or whenever it might be, he can get back on the court. You know, there's a lot of value in what he brings, and you want to make sure he's right. I got to say, shout out to Ricky Council. That reverse stuff last night it looked easy, but it's going to be one of the best dunks of the year because he had a defender on him, and he did it like in full speed. It was very fluid and smooth, but, man, that was a beautiful reverse dunk.
Special. Tom, we'll leave it there. Appreciate you joining us all the way. We'll get more into the LSU Tigers on Thursday.
All right. Sounds good, y'all. See you.
Tom Murphy with us every Tuesday and Thursday here on the Morning Rush, brought to you by the Kevin Hickey Law Partners. Hey, if you've got issues going on, it could be a family law issue. It could be a business contract issue. Maybe you and a partner are at odds on something, or maybe you're remodeling a home or building a home and the contractor and you can't see eye to eye, or maybe you're the contractor having problems with the homeowner. You need experienced help. You need someone that can represent you aggressively, and that's Kevin Hickey and Brad Hull. 479-434-2414 for the River Valley office in Fort Smith. In Northwest Arkansas, it's 802-6560. Coming soon to Little Rock as well. Find all the information on Kevin and Brad online at kevinhickeylaw.com. That's kevinhickeylaw.com.
We'll come back to basketball in just a bit, but do want to take Sterling in Center Ridge's call. He's got some more football comments this morning. Go ahead, Sterling.
Guys, I just want to finish up and finish touching on my comments yesterday about the football team and a brief comment about college football. And the thing about the football team that was so disappointing is that they just looked like they were dead. And Pittman said they could see it in pregame warm-ups. And I can't believe that they practice hard, practice great all week, and then in pregame warm-ups they're not into it. And I just don't know why. That was a ranked team with a chance to get a feather in your cap, and I just don't understand it. And I put that loss totally on the players. But at the same time, that's your one before I start worrying about the coaching abilities of the staff. That's their one. I've got to give this one to the players. But if it happens again, whether it be next year or 2 years from now, if it happens again, I got to put that on the coaching staff because these players will be gone. So it'll be on them if this happens in the near future. Guys on the college football, these playoff rankings, and I know everybody say they work themselves out, but at the same time, it does set if you rank higher, you don't drop as far. So if you're over-ranked and you just say, this is going to work itself out, your drop, unless you just totally lay an egg, it's not going to be as far. Then if you was ranked properly in your proper spot, you go fall and get to your proper ranking. You understand where I'm going with it?
Yeah. Brands get ranked higher. When they lose, they don't drop as far.
Right, and that's why I don't like it. But by no means am I a TCU fan or a TCU apologist, but there's no way they should have been below Alabama. I mean,
who do you think? Sterling, who's the better football team? if TCU and Alabama met on a neutral field right now, who's winning that game? I would bet my life savings that the Crimson Tide, Nick Saban, are winning that football game.
Well, I can't do that. I can't do that with Bama this season. I mean, maybe in past years, I can't do that. I mean, Texas, I almost beat them. I done seen Texas lose to, was it Texas Tech? So I mean, I can't say that about Alabama this time. I mean, not this year. I mean, they could very. I know they lost 2 games from the last play of the game, and I like Saban, but he also won 2 games very late.
They lost, but so, I mean, Sterling, to Bama, they lost to the best offense in college football by 3 points, had a chance to win and Reichard missed a field goal, and then last weekend they lost by 1 point in the toughest venue in college football at night. There's no tougher venue than going to Baton Rouge at night. None.
I got you. I'm with you 100%. But also, they were at home playing a Texas A&M team that I thought Arkansas should have beat by 3 touchdowns. And I saw my Arkansas team lose to Liberty. So, I mean, I just can't. You got to go on resume at some point. I mean, at some point, you got to go by what you do on the field and not what we're thinking, or we can just go back to what we did way before this when we was voting for national champions. But I know you're about to hit a break. I thank you for the vine. I thank you for going with the back and forth, Ty. I love it. Please do that with me more often if you don't mind, if you have the time.
You got it, man.
Well, here's the last one for you. 3.5 points on this game. Arkansas's getting 3.5. I'm checking the Bet Saracen app right now. What's your early lean?
My early lean, because I haven't said it yet, but on the line, I'm going to have an early lean towards Arkansas.
All right.
Because the line is weird. People bet what they most recently see, and Vegas try to take advantage of that. And I'm just wondering, are they trying to trick me to take LSU this week? So right now, I got my lean to Arkansas before I hit the steady.
Hammer the Hogs this week. You're getting 3.5. Hammer the Hogs.
Sterling, thanks. Yeah, I was looking here while Sterling was talking, I was looking at the Bet Saracen app, and there's some interesting stuff on here. Arkansas plus 3.5 this weekend. There's
over-under is what,
63? Let me scroll back down. 63.5, I think it was. But, going to be an interesting weekend. I was looking at some of the other SEC games. Listen, the only app that works in our state, Bama, by the way, favored by 11.5 on that trip to Starkville you was talking about earlier. The only sports betting app that works inside our state are the ones here in Arkansas. And Bet Saracen has got a great-looking app that it's got all the stuff you want on there. They got, the money line. They've got the point line, the points, the over-under, all that. And it's easy, and that's the thing I like. You can search by sport. You can go up to the top. You can do basketball. You can do the football. You even got hockey on here. So everything you're looking for is easy and compartmentalized and easy to find. If you hadn't downloaded the Bet Saracen app, that's where we go to get all the official odds and betting lines and everything right now. And, again, it works right here in Arkansas. So if you've downloaded one of these national apps, it's not going to work right here. It's simple. You just go to the App Store, download the Bet Saracen app, and or go to BetSaracen.com. If you want to know how to use it, they got a really cool how-to-play video with Jancy Sheets on their website at BetSaracen.com. So get the Bet Saracen app today at BetSaracen.com.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for it.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Dent Source, the leader in auto hail repair for over 20 years. Our certified technicians service all vehicles and offer a lifetime warranty. Dent Source will keep you on the road with a courtesy vehicle and offer free pickup and delivery. Dent Source, now open in Fort Smith.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lamley has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard, unlike those other companies. Items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561. Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
Running for state representative. Paid for by Avery for Arkansas.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the River Valley's truck superstore. No one has a bigger selection of new and pre-owned trucks. If you need a regular cab work truck, Harry has them, and the biggest selection you'll find anywhere. Over 60 full-size pre-owned trucks are in stock now, and over 250 pre-owned vehicles are on the lot. And for the first time in 90 days, new trucks are on the ground. When the other dealers don't have it, Harry does. The area's truck superstore. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Honey, I found a great new house for us to buy. Look at the photos.
Yeah? Who's gonna clean that big house?
We'll hire a housekeeper.
And who's gonna mow all that grass?
I will, on the weekends.
And who will get the kids to school?
We'll start a neighborhood carpool.
You thought of everything, didn't you?
Yep.
Except, who's gonna sell this house we're living in now?
Nick and Ellie Glidewell. nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
They're going to spot it out of the 42-yard line near the left hash. Kicks blocked. Hogs blocked it. The Razorbacks come up big with a special teams play.
Tired of the ESPN broadcasters? Pause your TV and sync up the broadcast with Chuck and Quinn on hitthatline.com or your ESPN Arkansas radio station.
So Dennis Springdale texts in that he's very concerned about the football team. I was going to be concerned if the basketball team last night, just not for them themselves, but my mental health. After everything that we watched this weekend, Nick Smith's out, and if they would have lost to top that off, 3 bad things and over the course of 2 or 3 days. Luckily, the basketball team got it done. We'll tell you about what they did last night coming up.
We'd have to guard all the bridges in our state, keep people off the rails if the basketball team had went down last night. Hey, I tell you what, with Thanksgiving coming up, you're already, I don't know about your house, but they're already talking about what we're going to have. Well, are you smoking a turkey this year? What sides we're going to have, all that stuff. If you just don't have time, Art's Barbecue does a great family meal. And if you want a deep-fried turkey, I've had several people ask about deep-fried turkeys. Where do you get one of those? Well, Art's Barbecue does them. They do turkeys, smoked, deep-fried, either way. They'll provide the bird and take care of cooking it for you. Or if you've been given a turkey, it's in the freezer, take that thing to Art's and they'll have it ready for you. They do hams and they do pork loins and bunch of other stuff that's on the menu. Plus, they got great mac and cheese. We know their beans are good. They got the best green beans that you're ever going to eat at Art's. And, man, they are great and tasty. And the way they do those Italian-style green beans, they are really good, the kind of the wider ones. I like them. So anything you need, dressing, do the whole thing. So they can cater your whole meal, or maybe your company's looking for someone to come in that week and provide Thanksgiving meal for your entire crew at work. They can do that for you as well. It's all at Art's Barbecue, Rogers Avenue. Let them help you get ready for the holidays with a great Thanksgiving spread. Art's Barbecue, Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
Trevor Brazile put on a show last night.
Little two-man game with Brazile. 12 to shoot. Black with a lob. Brazile with a throwdown. Holy cow.
I mean, he has 21 points, 12 rebounds, 3 for 6 from the three-point line in 32 minutes. Now, Eric Musselman's very open at times talking about he needs to be a better rebounder. Well, he definitely, his first official game at Bud Walton Arena as a home player, he was good in that category.
Yeah, and I was impressed with how the team played. Now, I thought when you read and listen to some of the player comments, and you can see a lot of those online at hitthatline.com, they knew Nick Smith wasn't going to play. This was not a game day surprise. This wasn't a game time decision. This was a team prepared to play without Nick Smith, and they did just that. They only turned the ball over 11 times. I know that number may seem high a little bit to some of you. Listen, that's a good number. You would live with that the rest of the way. They'd like to be at 9. When you look at offensive rebounds, they got 6. They limited their opponent to 7. You can live with that. Arkansas won the rebounding margin by 5. They got all 57 shots in the ball game and had 11 assists to go along with those 11 turnovers. So, on paper, they were on track and did it without Nick Smith. So I thought the team stepped up. And you had great leadership from Devo in this game. Ricky Council gave you probably more than you expected. And Trevin Brazile off the bench got 32 minutes. You got a feel of what this team's going to look like moving forward down the road.
Devo had 5 of your 11 turnovers last night and made a couple inexplicable plays that I know Eric Musselman was watching him on the sidelines, was frustrated with. But he's got to be a guy that, with Nick out for an undisclosed period of time, again, there's no timetable under his return, he's got to be very calculated at handling the basketball, because unless they change from what we've seen the first couple games, it's basically going to be Devo and Anthony Black handling the basketball. Unless they just add someone else into that wrinkle. That's who you've seen at the point guard position. And with Nick out, he's not going to have those touches that maybe he would have had if he was if he was in the game. So those two guys are going to be crucial for this game. Anthony came out aggressive, didn't have the best shooting night. He goes 1 for 7, ended up with 3 points, but he also had 7 rebounds. It's a luxury for Eric Musselman that your point guard 6'7", 6'8", and he can go get 7 boards on any given night.
What do you think about the transition game? Arkansas last night on fast break scored 9 points. It seems like that's an area they got to ramp up, is maybe the transition game.
It'll be better. Again, this is a work in progress. You know that. Their first official game of the season. I mean, they were trying to run. They were trying to get out. I'll give North Dakota State credit. They got back a lot of times. They'd miss a shot, and you mentioned only 7 offensive rebounds. They weren't exactly just crashing the glass with 100%. They got back a lot of times, and Arkansas didn't have a ton of passing lanes. There were a few turnovers here and there. I think Muss said 9 of the 11 turnovers were the ones that that Arkansas forced themselves rather than North Dakota State and the Bison forcing them. So I think you'll see a lot more transition in the coming weeks once this basketball team kind of gets into a rhythm of sorts.
Yeah, North Dakota State with 5 steals in the game. I think the number you look at those turnovers, that was good. 3-point shooting from the opponent was 23% last night. That's a number that has gotten away from Arkansas at times, even leading into this season. So hopefully Nick Smith's knee gets better. You need him in Maui. I'm a little worried about when you go up against that level of competition, kind of where you're at when you go over to Hawaii and played a couple of weeks on Thanksgiving week. The bloodline of any modern business is the computer network. We've had days where we've come in and the computers, it just took the day off and didn't tell us, didn't even call in. Well, when that happens at your office, what happens? Everything is out of sorts. Nothing works right. You can't do business. You think about it. If your router's down and the internet's down at your place of business, can't take credit cards. Sometimes the phones don't work. It's a problem. Who do you turn to? We always call hashtag managed IT services, and you should as well. Daryl comes in, and he usually creates all these problems from becoming major problems. Preventative maintenance, taking a look at your network, setting things up in a more common sense approach. 479-802-4978. VPNs, routers, firewalls. Cybersecurity is a bigger deal now. Plus all the just the normal routine stuff you need help with, whether it's laptop computers, changing out a hard drive, all that stuff as well. 802-4978. That's 802-4978. Hashtag technology without the headaches.
When we come back, let's talk about some SEC football lines ahead this weekend. Got a couple good games that I'm excited to watch.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
Joe Klein here for Bet Saracen, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app.
You bet it is, Joe, and football is in the air, which means Bet Saracen has everything you're looking for and more right there on your cell phone.
Now everyone can get in the game and follow your favorite team.
And that's right on the money. If putting down a little wager makes your favorite game a little more exciting, we'll go to the app stores and download Bet Saracen. We even got a demo video to show you how to play.
Or find it at betsaracen.com.
No matter which road you take, the Toyota Tundra is the perfect way to navigate it. On your path, you're your own boss and set your own hours.
Look at that sunrise.
You may find yourself in some pretty remote places.
Whoa, that view. It's amazing.
Or in places where pastimes become stories that become legends.
I got one. It's a keeper. Hey, get a picture. No one's going to believe this.
And each day ends binge-watching stars and dreaming about all the things you'll do the next day.
You know what? I'm catching a bigger fish tomorrow.
Built to follow your path, the Toyota Tundra. Build yours today. Visit your local Toyota dealer or Toyota.com for your ready-for-anything Toyota Tundra. The aggressively styled rugged Tundra is ready to be loaded up, and you can head off to wherever your path leads. Toyota. Let's go places. See packages and options at Toyota.com for feature availability.
Hello, this is Sue from the paint store in Van Buren. We are set and ready for all your spring and summer projects. We keep real samples of your Richards paint on file so we can be sure it matches every time. No computer can do that. The paint store in Van Buren. Color expertise and 34 years of knowledge outweighs all the competition. No other paint seller can do that. The paint store in Van Buren, Fayetteville Road, 474-4505.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names. And tractors that weigh more, do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
Who's hungry, Fort Smith? Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. And this month, I'm serving up heaping helpings of deals on Rath road-ready vehicles, each one hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center. So right now, you could save up to $4,500 on a nicer, newer car. based on the price of the car you choose. It's our feast of savings, and these deals are all gravy, so if you're sick of your old ride, toss it like yesterday's leftovers. Come in today, and you can save up to $4,500. Keeping the car you have? Get it ready for winter in our Meineke Car Care Center with a free winter-ready inspection, half-off brakes, and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. So pull up a chair at my feast of savings, and you can save up to $4,500 on a nicer, newer car. But hurry, a deal this hot will cool down fast. Only in Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Frank Rowe Furniture is your family-owned furniture, appliance, and electronics store. We have been servicing the area for 38 years with quality products and service after the sale. Frank Rowe Furniture offers a no-pressure sales atmosphere where you can actually enjoy shopping for your furniture. We also offer in-store, no-credit check financing. Don't wait weeks to be able to take your furniture you purchase home. Stop by and we will load you up today. Family-owned, service after the sale, and no-credit check financing. Frank Rowe Furniture, 405 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
As we prepare for winter, Americans are concerned about heating their homes, gas prices, food costs, and our future. That's why I'm fighting for more American energy, better jobs, and to fix the mess in Washington. Developing our own resources means more jobs, a stronger economy, a cleaner environment, and more security. Working together, we can rebuild this great country we call America. I'm Congressman Bruce Westerman, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Westerman for Congress.
We've invented a new messaging system using the crisp sounds of Bud Light. Crisp Code, Lesson 86. This is how you say, gee willikers, it's a hot one. Let's cool down with some Bud Lights. That's it for today. Bud Light, crisp.
Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
The Arkansas Fraternal Order of Police stood tall and unified this week to urge voters to vote no on Issue 4. They're calling the campaign misleading to voters, and they warn of the harm it will bring to our children, along with even more unintended consequences we cannot afford. Stand with the police and vote against Marijuana Issue 4, paid for by the Family Council Action Committee.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Somebody said we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Ashley Air. Keeping your home comfortable is what they do best. Trust them with your heating and cooling needs. Go to AshleyAir.com to request service today.
Couple of Saracen lines to get into. Alabama at Ole Miss this weekend, Tommy. Ole Miss is an 11.5-point underdog in Vaught Hemingway. If they somehow pull off this game, are you more apt to say that Nick Saban's dynasty is a cracking?
I think I'm already willing to say he's on the downhill slide, not because of age, but because of performance. I think NIL and the transfer portal are catching up to him. I don't think it has anything to do with his birthday and how old he is.
71. I saw the picture that they posted.
I don't think that has anything to do. That was about 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago. So I think that the problem is the gap has narrowed. The problem for Alabama, the gap has narrowed and has everything to do with NIL and transfer portal right now, and teams are closer than ever before.
Is that still a massive game in your opinion, or the SEC, or do you think LSU's almost got this thing locked up in the West?
It's what a massive game. The
Ole
Bama,
Miss,
well, yeah, it's a massive game. I mean, now LSU's in the driver's seat, but and they got Arkansas and A&M left. I mean, they got UAB in the middle, but that doesn't count towards conference play. I mean, LSU has to win them all. The rest of the way. That's their only path to the college football playoff is beat Arkansas, beat UAB, beat A&M, beat Georgia. There's no way in my mind for LSU to get in unless they do that. They're going to have to win 4 in a row, and they're going to have to beat the number one team in the college football playoff.
Now, you think the Kentucky game next weekend is going to be tougher for Georgia than Mississippi State this weekend? Why do you think that?
Well, you go to Lexington. It's a weird place to play. I know Starkville is too. You can say that about both of them. But I think Kentucky's defense is just better than Mississippi State's defense, and that's going to cause problems for Stetson Bennett.
The over-under in the game this weekend in Fayetteville is 63.5 on Bet Saracen. 63.5. Just looking at that, what do you think about the idea of that game going over?
I'd go under.
You would go under?
Yep, I'd go under on 63.5. Weather's going to be cooler. Going to kind of be a raw weekend. I think this, I know Arkansas's defense has had a struggle, but they held Liberty. And listen, LSU's better than Liberty. I understand that, but they held Liberty to 21 points. I think this could be a game that the total could be closer to 50 than 63.
What is that? Who's that favor? The game's
I think that
less high scoring.
Well, I think Arkansas needs to be around 40, in most cases to win. I didn't think you could win with 22 points this past weekend either. So, I mean, you can be made a fool pretty quick in these things. But I would think for Arkansas to win this game, they need to be in 30. They need to score 5 touchdowns, maybe 6. I mean, at that point, you're going way over. So it kind of tells you how I'm feeling about it. I don't know. I don't think Arkansas can win this game 22-21. 24-21. That would be an unlikely. I'm not saying it's impossible, but that doesn't seem likely in my mind right now.
Do you watch any other SEC basketball outside of the Razorbacks last night?
No, I did not. So
I didn't either. I know the only SEC team that lost last night was Vanderbilt to Memphis.
Yes.
The other SEC team that didn't play last night, I think, is just South Carolina. They play tonight, but I think every other team.
Kentucky won big early. They were the kind of first one to hit finals, but no, I just watched the Hogs last night,
and I think I'll continue to watch Arkansas basketball and continue to monitor it, but until I don't know if I'll be able to fully put my focus into SEC basketball until the football season is done.
I think
it's gonna be really,
but I think we'll be a little quicker to it this year because of Arkansas's expectations, because of how good we think. I think we'll get dialed in a little more. Not just on the SEC, but college basketball in general. Figure out who's really good out there.
Last thing in your SEC update, when does Auburn make a hire by?
Oh, I think it'll be first week of December. I mean, you've got to get the coach that do you think the coach that they're going to hire is a sitting coach now?
Yeah, I don't think they'd.
So if it's Lane Kiffin or Hugh Freeze, which those are the most popular names being tossed around, what you're suggesting is they would have to leave their job before the end of their regular season to go to Auburn. I don't think that's – I mean, we might be there in a year or two, but I don't think they're leaving those kind of jobs. You're not leaving Ole Miss before the Egg Bowl in order to take the job at Auburn. I don't believe, and that's what you're looking at. So I think you're going to have to be after the end of the regular season. So the 28th, 29th of November, 27th, 28th, 29th, first week of December, somewhere in that range would be my guess.
A&M job come open?
Nope. $85 million.
They got this weekend. Can't remember. Auburn. What if they lose the next 3? They lose to Auburn, UMass, and LSU.
They're not losing to UMass. Nope. $85 million. Now you may fire every assistant. May fire the ushers. May fire the people in the concession stands, but $85 million. That's still a lot of money. Pay someone. But here's the thing. You've made your bed, you got to lie in it. Now, the AD may end up getting fired. They may fire the chancellor. But the last man that will be standing in all of this will be Jimbo. And even next year, it's down to, what, $75 million? I mean, it's a while. They're going to have to find cause. And I think that's where they're headed. They're going to be looking for... They're going to be investigating their own house closer than the NCAA could ever get to.
Pulling Auburn.
Yeah.
That they did with Brian Harsin, trying to find dirt.
Yeah. And Harsin, they're going to pay him money to... but there's a difference in, what was it, $17 million with Harsin?
He was... Some Auburn booster told me it's 35, but I don't know how valid that is.
But it wasn't 85. It's a whole different realm of stupidity. Is $85 million. I don't care how much money you got, paying him $85 to not coach, plus the assistants got guarantees for a year or two on their contract, much smaller number, obviously. And then you're going to pay a new staff to come in. You're talking about way over $100 million right now to make a change in your football program. Even Aggies can't get that dumb. I don't think. That's a lot of money, man. That's the best security blanket he's got. It's that $85 million buyout. Be hard to be motivated. All right, that's your SEC updates brought to you by Ashley Air. The cooler weather is here. You turning that heat on in the mornings or when you go to bed at night? Is it working properly? Are you staying warm? Or maybe you haven't turned it on at all. Tough guy. Hey, I get it. I like it. Keeps the bills low. Hey, Ashley Air's there. It's $69 fall tune-up right now. They'll come to your home, make sure it's working efficiently and ready for the colder days that are here and maybe here this weekend. It's part of Ashley Air's 100% satisfaction guarantee. On game day, call the Hogs. When your heat needs repaired, call Ashley Air. Get your $69 fall tune-up now. Go to AshleyAir.com to schedule yours. That's AshleyAir.com, proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
Eric Musselman live back here tonight on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com at the original Sassy's Red House location. I know a lot of you will be invested to see what he says tonight. I know you're hoping to get some more updated information on Nick Smith Jr. I would guess they're probably going to keep that pretty tight-lipped, and you won't necessarily hear kind of anything extended on that. Now, John texted in. He wants to know, why are we talking football after the way Council and Brazil played last night? The best transfers we've ever had. He was thoroughly impressed with what he saw, even without Nick Smith Jr. John, we've talked a pretty good chunk of basketball for it being a November 8th show. And deservedly so. Council was unbelievable, had one of the dunks of the year last night. It was kind of a reverse windmill over his defender. He also had Trevin Brazil, who
It
played.
looked like you in your playing days.
Can't say I could dunk back in the day. I'm just hoping I can score a layup and pick up
Did
later
you
on.
pull that
afternoon.
off in an 8-foot goal?
8 foot, yeah.
You could have dunked it like that?
On a 10 foot, yeah. 8 foot? Not 9
A
foot.
windmill like he did last
Yeah,
night?
8 foot, yeah, easy.
I'm not buying it.
8 foot goal? I'm almost 6 feet.
What?
The wingspan.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the windmill, the whole deal.
Yeah,
you think you're athletic enough to pull that off?
I'd dunk on your ass. It would just be, you'd be on the ground,
No.
wailing and screaming,
You heard
howling,
the term,
writhing in pain.
Have you heard the term flagrant 2? That's what you would. That's what that would be charged with once you came down the lane.
For what? Yeah,
It looked like
for being a
Hacksaw Jim
force?
Duggan. Yeah,
For being a
I would
force?
be an enforcer.
Little tap, Rick Mahorn,
Yeah.
Bill Lambier, just putting
Yeah.
someone on the ground. Now, I'd plow over you and then dunk on you and then make you regret ever even challenge me at that point. But no, it was fun. There were some highlights. This team's going to be filled with highlights this year. There's going to be so many fast break opportunities, so many alley-oops. I think they only had one last night. There was a couple times they almost hooked up. Black had one to Brazil that was real, real nice. But this is going to be worth the price of admission. And I'll tell you like it is. Like I told you yesterday, home schedule next year for Arkansas football, it's not great. Best games are on the road. You're going to get your money's worth for this basketball team this year. Now, that's contingent, I think, as well upon the timeline and the injury updates on Nick Smith Jr. And I don't know again when he is set to return, but from what I've saw and what I've seen, this basketball team's going to be fun to watch. And they're going to drive you insane at some points because they're going to turn the ball over at an excessive rate at times. But other times, they're just going to be a highlight Sports Center top 10 reel that you'll just replay over and over.
Our old buddy Officer Breeden stopped by this morning. He grabbed that microphone there. We hadn't seen you in a month of Sundays. It's been longer than that. So, how you been, man?
I've been good.
For those that might be new to the show, Officer Breeden was kind of a staple on the show. He was, an officer in the community where our studio's at for a number of years, and would stop by. And mainly, he was kind enough to bring us breakfast on the regular, bring some donuts by and check on us and kept us safe. And you retired from that work, and you've been on the road a lot lately.
Yeah, I've been in the northeast part of the country for all those. I do security work. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
What's a lobster roll like? Have you had one of those in Maine or up there yet? That was what me and Tommy were talking about the other day that we want to try.
Absolutely.
They good?
Crab cakes everywhere. Yes, they are good. They are good. Now, if the current administration stays in power and they shut off all the diesel fuel, I don't know how the boats are going to bring crab, but it's another story. We won't get political on this.
What's the coolest state up there in the Northeast? Is it Rhode Island, Maine, New York? What's the coolest one of the scenery and just the things you like to do up there? What is it?
Well, Maine is absolutely gorgeous.
Is it?
Yeah, and Delaware, minus the fact that the current president comes from there. Delaware is really
it's election.
It is
day.
election day.
You know, we made it. We made it almost 3 hours without mentioning anything political.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. You know, but Delaware is also very nice. I mean, it really is. It's very rural for the most part, other than Wilmington. So yeah, it's pretty nice in Delaware.
What'd you think of the game Saturday? We got about 10 seconds here.
Okay.
15. Quick.
Number one, the players need to give their best effort. They owe that to the people of Arkansas. They owe it to their teammates. And clearly, even by the actions of the two players on Saturday night, they weren't giving their best effort. And they owe that to the university, to their players, to their teammates, and us as fans.
Well, thanks for stopping by today. Been too long. Good to see you.
Good to see you, sir.
All right, for Tommy Kraft, Officer Breen, and Tom Murphy, everyone have a good Tuesday.